Sports Talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Volunteer State Bank. Real people, real solutions, right here. Remember, FDIC, equal housing lender. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. A special Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Happy New Year's Eve to everyone out there. Hope everyone has a happy and safe New Year tonight. Happy birthday to our very own Joe Rexrode as well. Joe, happy birthday, my friend.
Okay, we can talk about this first segment.
Happy birthday, Joe.
And then we will not speak of this again. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys saying happy birthday to me. No one at my home has said it because no one is here. I am home alone as they all revel in their little Sparty whatever in Atlanta.
Yes.
That's fine. Just abandon dad. That's fine.
Just totally leaving dad on his own on his birthday to begin the new year here. Joe, happy birthday. We love you. We appreciate you here on the show and looking forward to a very spicy edition of Robby and Rexrode today. We've got a lot to get into. Michelle Knezvik, how are you? Is there any pot shot you would like to take at me about the Tennessee Volunteers losing the game yesterday?
How great did it feel to get a nice L, Robby? I tweeted Boiler Up. I tweeted Boiler Up. And people were just screenshotting the Kentucky-Tennessee game and tweeting it at me. And I'm like, dude, you just lost. And then he just kept screenshotting it. And I was like, I just don't get it. I swear, you guys only care if, like, you beat us. But whatever. Tough L, Rob.
I mean,
but
I would argue that we don't care about the Kentucky game at all. But, yes, I hear you.
But if you lose it, you better care.
That doesn't happen.
Yes,
on those very rare occasions, that probably is upsetting.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? You just lost yesterday.
Well, I understand.
So if a Kentucky fan starts talking trash and interjects, then how are you not going to say scoreboard right back to the Kentucky fan?
Okay, but
right?
it's talking trash. All the tweet said was Boiler Up. That's all it said. He came at me.
Yes, okay.
Yes, there's nothing hidden behind that at all.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the Vandy football account all of a sudden has just been able to, they won in Nashville this year. It's like, hey, when you're 2-10, best course of action, generally speaking, is probably to shut up. That's just me.
I mean, look, I appreciate the spiciness with random, sports teams accounts. I mean, there's some fun stuff. I mean, I haven't seen I saw that, I think it was Vanderbilt Athletics.
Yes.
At large tweeted that, like, who has won in Nashville this year? It says, so what it said, Vanderbilt, Purdue, and then what did it X the Tennessee? Is that right?
Yeah, they conveniently left off ETSU from that list.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's an easy ratio. That's an easy quote tweet of another little mark, ETSU. But hey, people get their shots in. I have been in a complete battle between Twitter and my column. I mean, the comments are already like at 100. Like, it's just out of control over this crap. Vandy Joe is Vol Homer Joe now.
That's right. We'll get a little bit heavier into the Vols game here coming up just a few minutes. Do want to get to the Predators. They lost last night in the shootout 4-3 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So a point for the Predators last night in the standings. Michael McCarron scores a goal last night. Nick Cousins with really an incredible shot. Like,
knew that was going to happen, guys. I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, you have got – I called it, though. I said, I'm not picking him, and he's going to score. And here we are.
There you go.
Well, and David yesterday, our listener, selected Ryan Johansson, so congratulations to him. But the Predators ultimately fall in the shootout. Really impressive turnover by Ben Harper to set up the game-tying goal for Columbus last night, and they score, and they end up winning in a shootout. 1 point for the Predators. I thought David Riddick played okay in that game, but obviously you want to get back to your winning ways pretty quickly if you're Nashville.
I still say, man, Saros probably would have been okay to play after the break. But, long way to go, and there's going to be some condensed scheduling ahead too, so you got to keep that in mind.
There is going to be that, and probably going to be – we knew it was going to be condensed anyway with the Olympic break, and now when you're going to have to try to make up some games, probably going to be even more condensed for the Predators as they move forward here. So interesting to keep an eye on how they handle the workload for the goaltenders as they move forward as well. The Predators will be back in action coming up tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Little matinee hockey, which, in my opinion, Joe Rexrode, matinee hockey is the best hockey. 1 o'clock at Bridgestone Arena.
Matinee hockey is sweet. I don't know that I necessarily advocate for matinee hockey on January 1, which is but then again, this year, January 1 is not what it often is or has been in the past. And also you can always, be at the hockey game, stream whatever football game you want to watch. Works out all right.
There is that. So we'll see if the Predators can rebound at home against Chicago, taking on the Blackhawks tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena. So the Music City Bowl yesterday, I was there. It was about a 5-hour game. Good stuff. Really fun crowd, record-setting crowd at Nissan Stadium. So a good day for the city of Nashville. Good day for the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. I'm sure Scott Ramsey and his crew very happy with the turnout, record-setting crowd at Nissan Stadium. Purdue wins 48-45 in overtime against Tennessee in this game. And Joe, there's so much to talk about in this game. I almost don't even know where to begin. But let's begin where I think the majority of Vol Twitter has their focuses really centered on this game, and that is the overtime possession. You hand the ball off to Jalen Wright. He is scratching and clawing and fighting his way to get into the end zone, and he is ruled down, and his forward progress is stopped. You look at the replay, the ball clearly goes over the goal line. I guess you can make an argument his forward progress was stopped, and he was also pulled into the end zone by his offensive lineman as well. So there's a lot that kind of factors into this play here. Overall, let's just start with your impressions of that play. Did Tennessee get screwed? What are kind of your thoughts on the end of that game and the way the Music City Bowl transpired yesterday?
Yes, Tennessee got screwed. I mean, let's not overthink this. And look, let's understand that if you flip this around, the Boilers fans who are screaming, that of course he was down. It would be the exact reverse. Vol Twitter would be like, "Oh, the guy was down. What are you talking about?" Objectively looking at that call, I think actually, I wrote 2,000 words, mostly whining about officials after this. Just smashing the keyboard like Ryan Tannehill's doing push-ups this week as he thinks about the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Okay. But I think David Ubben, probably put it best. David Ubben in a tweet, it was more effective than a 2,000-word column when he said, and I'm gonna find his exact word. We're gonna have David Ubben on later, by the way.
We are 9:00.
So this is forward progress is absolutely it's a judgment call. Here's the tweet. Quote, forward progress is a judgment call, but on a game-deciding play at the goal line in overtime with a non-QB with the ball, it seems insane to not let it play out. Certainly at least a little longer than officials did. This one's going to smart for Tennessee, really tough loss. So now the pulling aspect of it, I will agree. If you wanted to signal touchdown and then you throw the flag and a 5-yard penalty for pulling, and then you got 4th and 6. I mean, look, that would still be people angry, but it's technically true. Now I see it all the time because you can push, you can't pull, right? Now there's a lot of, especially around the goal line, of pushing, and then there's someone who's kind of pulling, and I've never seen it called.
Yeah.
So, that was one of those things where people were trying to wait, is that illegal? Let's look up the rule book, So, but if you want to argue that, then that's fine. Arguing that his forward progress was stopped is ridiculous. And I'm sorry, I understand, you can rule that without the whistle, but without a whistle, that to me, then they blow your whistle.
Yeah.
Right? And they didn't. The whistle was not blown until the ball was put over the goal line. It was such an incredible game. Not if you like defense, but it was, you talk about 4 touchdowns in about a 3-minute span. It was in the final 4:58 of regulation, but it was about a 3-minute span. Just what a great, and that was a game that needed to be probably decided, I guess, by a 2-point conversion, but it needed to be decided by offense against defense in overtime, not by this weird premature judgment call. And it's just, I'm sorry. I think it was a poorly officiated game, and both sides, by the way. Anyway, And that's where my anger comes from this game is just officiating in general. But I think anybody who's looking at that is contorting their mind to say, oh yeah, no, that's definitely the right call. You got to be kidding me. I mean, we've seen plays like that. We see plays like that all the time. And there was no reason to blow that or to signal that play down to me.
Well, the other part of this is then you go back and review it, and you're going back and reviewing for progress being stopped, which, I didn't get the benefit of the TV broadcast until I got back to the house. So I didn't know when the whistle got blown. I got back to the house. I saw the whistle was blown when, they're standing in the end zone, basically. So I don't know how you go back in slow motion and review forward progress being stopped. Like, his feet are moving the whole time. But once you call forward progress is down, like, I don't know what you do at that point. So I don't know what they're looking at on the review there.
I don't. Well, and the review lasted about a second. So, yeah. And the thing is, even as they were technically, I guess, reviewing it, I mean, Heupel was already being told on the field because, like it was in real time. Heupel was being told on the field by the official, like he ruled forward progress. I think so. Heupel, it appeared to me, was being told like there's nothing to review. Yeah, but then it was. But like,
then they went and looked at it. I was like, what are you doing?
Right. So what are they looking at? Yeah. So again, the polling thing, it's fine. I mean, and if that happens, then I think Tennessee. Then you're talking 4th and 6. Then Tennessee takes field goal. Right. And still, then maybe we have a double overtime. Obviously, Purdue made the field goal. I mean, I don't think Heupel goes for it if not. And frankly, look, I'll say this too. There's a whole bunch of this. And then we have to go to break, I know. But like, there's a whole bunch of this where you can look at Tennessee and say, gosh, Jalen Wright right there.
Yeah.
The way Jabari Small's been running and those are your play calls and why are you throwing deep over and over again when you have plenty of time to get in position for a field goal to win the game anyway. Like, there's a lot of blame on Tennessee. But again, what happens is, people who want to shrug off bad officiating are enabling bad officiating.
We'll continue the discussion on the Music City Bowl and get a little bit deeper into the officiating conversation coming up on the other side. As always, we welcome your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Can the Titans take care of business in a key AFC matchup against the Dolphins?
End zone throw open, and Hollins has a Dolphin touchdown.
Or will Miami play spoiler at Nissan Stadium?
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Tune in all day Monday for full reaction to Titans Dolphins. Talking Titans on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Automatically. Discover something brighter. Learn more at discover.com/match.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old? You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or InvigorateHealthTN.com.
BetOnline.net still has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march through the College Bowl season and the Pro Football Playoffs. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports info, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline.net has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. Is your AC or heating unit old and inefficient? Is it breaking down yearly? Now is the time to replace it. Waiting can cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Just like everything, the cost of a new AC unit is rising. Effective January 1st, all manufacturers are increasing prices up to 10%. Get ahead of the game and call Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering 60 months, no interest financing, and 10-year parts and labor warranty on all new units. Schedule now at springhillac.com or call 615-778-8855.
Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey is the official whiskey of the NFL pregame broadcast on ESPN 1025 The Game. Screwball is the original and most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. Made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter, Screwball is all natural flavor to be enjoyed as a straight shot, in an espresso martini, peanut butter old fashioned, or a PB&J shot with a berry liqueur. Check out screwballwhiskey.com/recipes for more. Be sure and ask for Screwball by name at your favorite watering hole in Nashville.
Enjoy responsibly. 2021 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy-only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
This whole wall needs to be shelving, too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France? I mean, this is the biggest...
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Volunteer State Bank. Real people, real solutions. Right here, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube today and every day. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. What a song, bringing us back in here today on Joe Rexrode's birthday. I promise that's the last time we'll mention it.
This how it's going to be today? This how it's going to be today, Michelle?
This is how, Joe, it is a birthday. Listen, you grace Robby and I with so many smiles and laughs Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays as well.
That's true.
It's the least we can do to celebrate you today. You're by yourself, so I will be playing this, I'll say 2 more times throughout the show. Is that fair?
I mean, I what can I do to stop you? I can't stop you.
Well, true.
It's very nice of you to say, though.
It's probably a Rexrode got run over by reindeer coming at some point, too, would be my guess.
That one's my favorite.
That's a good selection. That's evergreen.
What a combo. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio on this Friday morning, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, discussing the TransPerfect Music City Bowl yesterday. Purdue gets it done 48-45 in a wild game yesterday at Nissan Stadium against Tennessee. And Joe, as we talked about, unfortunately, the officiating also a story today as we head into the reaction of that game yesterday between Tennessee and Purdue. We've talked about the play on the goal line, which is going to get a lot of attention today from Tennessee fans. We know that. You know, I thought there were some other areas of the game that were incredibly poorly officiated. This is not necessarily even just a Tennessee Purdue thing yesterday. It's a problem in college football. The officiating is not very good.
It's a real problem. And what really angers me in these situations is that there's too many people. So my old boss at the Tennessee, and Tommy D's, great guy. I love Tommy. He and I got into it last night on Twitter, and we have before in these situations, because Tommy D's he's a terrific, journalist, editor guy, but he's an example of a problem we have in sports. And this is the problem, that too many people are defaulted to, no matter what happens with officiating, saying, "Oh, don't whine about that. If your team would have tackled this, or if you would have made this play or not made this play call, then you would have won the game." And that's all true, and that's all fine. But when you automatically go to that, let me find a way to defend this call or that call, and dismiss any idea that officiating led to the outcome, you again are enabling bad officiating. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a joke that there was no one available last night to talk about this. I've been a pool reporter at controversial NCAA tournament basketball games where they take you down into a little room and they take you to the head, to the head of the crew, and you get one or two quick questions and they give you a super quick answer, and then they rush out of there. These people, look, there should be someone made available for multiple questions. And I've had this argument with Bill Carollo, who used to be the head of Big Ten officiating. Okay. And his thing is, well, we don't need like journalists who are kind of like fans all mad and ask about calls. I'm like, well, okay, fine. I'm not sitting here saying, well, what about that holding in the second quarter? What about that interference in the third quarter? But sometimes there are calls that demand a full explanation, and accountability is important. So again, when you dismiss bad officiating as a factor, you are allowing this to continue. It's outrageous that in this industry, I think college football is generating $18.9 billion. We now have athletes who are going to be able to get money, name, image, likeness. That's awesome. It's ridiculous that officials get like $3K to do a game. Okay. Or in basketball, if you officiate like a good Power 5 league game, you might get like $2,000. Now there are officials who can make, close to $200,000 a year, basketball officials. But what they do is they ref like 6 games out of 7 days in a week. They drive all over the place. They're exhausted. They're stretched thin. They don't have benefits. And so just that alone, you're going to have worse officiating. It needs to be invested in. It needs to be absolutely should be full-time employees. It should be standardized. It should not be. This is where we talk about what in the NCAA has any value. Here's something the NCAA can do is have salary benefits, invest way more money than we do right now in officiating. Have these people have standards across the board, not just league by league. We pay this much for our games. We pay this much for our games, and create a better product because it is such a huge part of the product. Are you kidding me? I mean, one holding call, one interference call, one block charge can absolutely determine the outcome of a game. And now gambling is everywhere. Yep. And now gambling was there anyway. We know this. And we also know that gamblers have gotten to officials before. It is critical to me that this get addressed and that real investment in officiating is made. And that's really what I was ranting about in my column, which of course turns into like Purdue. You sour grapes, you Vols fan, take your L. Like again, let's talk about the horse collar call that they called on Purdue that I thought was questionable. God, some PI called us. Again, it's very hard too. Let's make that clear. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult job. These people should be paid well, trained well, and they should be rested. And we should invest in them being better.
Well, I agree. And I'll just be honest with you. The position of, you defend officials at all costs and they can't have the impact on the game. And there's always another play to be made. It drives me nuts. And to me, that argument really went out the door. And look, I want to be clear. I'm by no means comparing what happened in the Music City Bowl to what I'm about to say. But I remember in the NFC title game with the pass interference penalty with the Saints and the Rams that basically sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. This same argument came up, and there were people that said, well, if the Saints would have just made a couple more plays, they'd have been in the Super Bowl. I'm like, well, how about the play that they did make that just totally got screwed up by the officials? Yeah. That was literally the reason they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. It's just that argument drives me nuts. How people just want to absolutely, under zero circumstance ever, blame the officials for anything. It drives me insane.
It's infuriating. And again, it's true, Of course it's true. I mean, in any game, you get to the end of a football game. I mean, my gosh, Hendon Hooker missed like 2 touchdown passes in the second quarter, right?
Yeah.
At least. I mean, the Vols, I mean, that tight end touchdown, I mean, I don't know what the heck they were doing. They tried to play patty cake with him. They didn't get that done. He just runs down the side. I mean, but that's always going to be true. You have to allow, this is so much like a larger thing too. Like, you have to allow for both of these things to be true. Yes, this team could have done A, B, and C. This team could have done D, E, D, E, and F. That's fine. That's always true. But are you just going to completely excuse an egregious call that absolutely, in the end, at the key moment, determines the outcome of the game? You can't. But people want to do that, and that's a prime frustration. Then, of course, again, like I said last segment, you flip this around. Vol Twitter is like, "Oh, he was down. Get out of here." If you flip the jerseys on, of course, that's of course that's the case. But if, to me, like Purdue also here played a great game, down 21-7, and I mean Aiden O'Connell, like, they were great.
Yep.
So all we're talking about is this crap, like this changed also, like, the discussion around this great game, which finally we got this fantastic college football bowl game. And this is what we're talking about.
I will say, I talked yesterday, and my worst thing in sports was how the bowl games have been largely awful for the most part. Being there for this one yesterday kind of made up for that a little bit. We'll get a little bit deeper into the game itself yesterday. What were our takeaways from Tennessee? What did we think of the Vols both yesterday and what it means as they move forward here? All that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi, I'm Jussi Saros. And this is Smashville.
Stopped by Saros. Hook checked away and taken now by Mikhail Gronlund.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
If you missed the latest from Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
I think Vrabel is trying to pump up Tannehill's tires with the toughness, or he's signaling to us that Tannehill's playing hurt, which I wouldn't be surprised. And I think he looks at the pass protection as the one thing that can get better between now and Sunday against the Dolphins. The wide receivers can't get better between now and Sunday unless they pull one out of their rear end, unless they've been stashing Golden Tate on the practice squad as a secret weapon. So that's why I think Vrabel talked about Tannehill's toughness. And that's why I think he talked about pass protection, because I think he thinks it can get better. I don't think he thinks the wide receivers can get better. And I think he's trying to pump up his quarterback, who is lacking the confidence that we're used to seeing.
Tune in Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
On ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Get the gifts you really wanted at the Electronic Express huge after Christmas sale. Big savings with up to 50% off in every department. 4K TVs, computers, gaming, speakers and headphones, smart home, housewares, and more. That's not all. Get your kitchen ready for the new year with up to 40% off all your appliance needs. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. Shop the huge after Christmas sale at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Each win means more in the college football playoff, and that's why FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up new customers with 30-1 enhanced odds on any team to win their semifinal game. That means you can bet $5 and win $150 on any team to make it to the final. I think Alabama against Cincinnati, no disrespect to Cincinnati, is the most sure bet. Just sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook app using the promo code JGM and make a deposit to claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. Already got FanDuel? Well, FanDuel's hooking up all customers with $50 when you refer a friend, and your friend will get $50 too. Don't miss your chance to win $150 on a $5 bet for the college football playoff. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and use the promo code JGM to get 30-1 odds. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only $10 first deposit required. Must wager in a designated offer market, max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call a Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Since their doors opened in 1898 in England, Arkansas, Bank of England Mortgage has been providing down-home exceptional service. Bank of England's success is due to the talent of their loan officers and their access to hundreds of mortgage products at the industry's best pricing. Bank of England Mortgage has 3 Middle Tennessee locations ready to serve you. Go to BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Hey Nashville, Vanderbilt football coach Clark Lee here, inviting you to tune in on ESPN 94.9 every Monday at 6 p.m. for the Commodore Hour, providing you with exclusive insights on Vanderbilt athletics.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Hey Nashville, I'm Gary Smith, head coach of Nashville SC. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
We got our whole team. We're going big and we're picking.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Talking Vols in the Music City Bowl yesterday. They fall 48-45 in the overtime period against Purdue. And what a wild game it was. It was fun to be a part of that crowd yesterday at Nissan Stadium. Great atmosphere, great day for college football in Nashville, Tennessee. Probably could not have asked for better weather this time of year in December in Nashville as well. And the game certainly was entertaining to watch. Over 600 yards of offense total for both teams. Hendon Hooker throws for 5 touchdown passes. Aiden O'Connell throws for 5 touchdown passes as well for Purdue, also 3 interceptions. Joe, I've got a lot of different takeaways from this game that we'll get to. I guess the first one I'll start with is, if you didn't think Cedric Tillman coming back next year was a big deal, I present to you yesterday, it's a pretty big deal. 7 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. I actually think they didn't throw the ball to him anywhere near enough yesterday, which we'll get to coming up here in just a few minutes. But you start the game with 2 catches for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for Cedric Tillman. The dude is an absolute stud out there, and he was again yesterday for the Vols.
Yeah, he's I'll tell you what, of the 2 guys, I would say he's the one I could make a case for going right now. Yeah. Because 6'3", 215, and I think he has better speed than we realized going into the year. He was kind of an afterthought, right? And, a nice depth guy in the receiving core, but you saw pretty early in the season how often he was, making big plays. But that, along with his ability to be physical, high pointing the ball, going and getting it, and then running through contact, yards after the catch. I think he's going to be a good receiver for someone. I mean, you think about some of the recent Vols receivers who are doing well in the NFL, Josh Palmer and Callaway and Jennings. I mean, I think Cedric Tillman is more talented than those guys. This is where it gets difficult a little bit to separate, scheme from talent. Because I do like those 2 touchdowns yesterday. Those were both product of Purdue not being able to get lined up, and boom. But I mean, 2 different defensive backs are just taking their look into the line when Tillman blows past them. So the tempo creates some easy pitch and catch situations for Hooker and Tillman and other receivers that, like, you have to say, hey, I mean, that's a scheme play, right? Yep. But I also think that they're both special talents, Hooker and Tillman. And you're talking about the 8th guy ever to get 1,000 yards in a season, the first since Justin Hunter in 2012. And boy, next year could be just a massive year for him. And I think, another guy who we thought was going to have a much bigger year, that might have been Hooker's best throw, by the way, yesterday, was the TD to Jalen Hyatt. Yep. There's a guy who now it's time for him to have a great offseason in this offense. And that could be a heck of a tandem next year.
Could be a heck of a tandem. Like I said, I didn't think they threw the ball to Tillman enough yesterday. Purdue made some adjustments, and I had a pretty good view of him lining up. They were shading people his way as the game went along. Now, there were some more matchups where he was singled up, and honestly, with the way that he was playing and the size that he has, I mean, I would almost, if I'm Hendon Hooker, treat him like Devontae Adams and just be like, okay, you're going to single him up. Every single time you single him up, I'm throwing him the ball. And look, Hooker missed him a couple of times yesterday too. He had the shot towards the end of the game where he was wide open on that we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. There was one in the second quarter in the end zone that he was wide open on that Hooker missed him on as well. So, it's a great day for Cedric Tillman. 7 catches, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. It could have been a much bigger day, both from missing other passes and I thought moving away from him a little bit too much yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he had those. So he had the 2 touchdowns, and he had he went up and got one over on the sideline, and the safety who he torched for the second touchdown, threw him to the ground to get a nice personal foul. And I was like, man, how many catches is this guy going to have today? And then, like you said, it was like 2 quarters without him touching the ball. But when it really mattered in the fourth quarter, when Hendon Hooker, came alive and made some big time plays, Tillman was there. Like sometimes you just have to get him the ball no matter what. So he's a terrific player. And Hooker actually, so Hooker had 5 touchdowns, 378 yards passing. Sorry, I had to mute to clear my throat. And he actually brought his QB rating down yesterday. So
yeah.
He only had a 181 rating. He came in at 182.15, which is the best in Tennessee history, which is the best in the SEC, and which is number 3 in the country. So we'll see where he ends up. He dragged himself down with a 181.
Right. And look, he was largely really good. He did miss some throws yesterday that he typically makes that were costly for Tennessee.
Yeah.
But especially in the second quarter. The second quarter, he missed some wide open guys where Tennessee, they had a chance to, I think, to maybe not blow the game open, but they had a chance to really pad the cushion a little bit. They were holding Purdue to field goals on the other side, and there were a couple opportunities for some extra touchdowns for Tennessee in that second quarter yesterday.
No question. I mean, that's honestly, you could argue, as we go through all this, well, you could have done this, could have done that. Well, I would go to the second quarter and say that's where the game was lost. For as great as the fourth quarter was and the back and forth, the second quarter, I think Purdue was vulnerable. It's 21-7, and it's just like, what is Purdue going to do to stop these guys? Like, another great tweet from me. I was like, Tennessee's going to name its score today. Now, granted, they did get 45, so that's pretty good. But they could have easily been in the 50s in this game. They could have been a lot, like real close to the 40s by halftime. And Hooker, I don't know what happened there. It just, he just was sort of out of sorts. I also thought the field yesterday
it was atrocious.
Was bad. It probably cost the defenses more than the offenses, but there are also some offensive plays that were lost because of that field. How the heck are we're going to talk about that later, but boy, they got some work to do in the next couple of days.
It was embarrassing the shape that field was in yesterday. And you got guys slipping around left and right. I get it. Some rain came in the last couple of days, but that's an NFL field. It was embarrassing how bad that playing surface was yesterday.
So that's a factor too. And, Purdue does, again, deserve credit. That's a very good offense. You take away their 2 best receivers. And again, David Bell is going to be, David Bell's a name you're going to know on Sundays. And then you take away, their defensive end, whose name I won't butcher right now, but he's also a pro. And they come up with that with some stops, but then also their offense. Jeff Brom can coach a little bit of offense now. He's comfortable in games like that. And they took advantage certainly too. Speaking of missing players, you got to mention that Alontae Taylor opted out. I think you could see the effects of that. And I think you can also see where Tennessee needs some work this offseason. If they're going to have a great year in 22, they're going to have to find some people, because Theo Jackson also, that was his last game, and he was tremendous all year. So they're really going to need to identify some people they can trust in the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really interesting day defensively. Obviously, you give up over 600 yards and 48 points. It was not good for the Vols defensively. You did create 3 turnovers, and create may be too strong a word. You got handed 2 turnovers on a platter by Aiden O'Connell. The first interception by Tennessee was a good play, but the play that's going to stick out in my mind, and I think the minds of a lot of people yesterday, Tennessee, from a defensive standpoint, were just the tackling. Like, the tackling was atrocious. And then obviously the one that sticks out is the play to the tight end where like 6 guys have a shot at him, and all of a sudden nobody wraps up, nobody drives him out of bounds, and then he just scampers down the sideline for a touchdown. That was a pretty embarrassing play for the Tennessee defense.
I mean, that was, I don't know what like sometimes, you see guys who, you're trying to smack the ball out, right? And it's like, no, just wrap up, and that happens. But there are a couple guys over there who I don't know what they were doing. Like, it was like, they're like, hey, I'm going to race you to the end zone. Ready, go. Like, do something with your hands. Try, to get in there and do something. And a couple of those guys were, guys you expect not to, to make mistakes like that. So, I mean, that was very disappointing overall. Look, this defense overachieved this year and made a lot of plays. It also was not great, and there's still a long way to go to me before Tennessee has a defense, that's like winning against the best teams in the SEC kind of defense. And there's good guys that are going to be lost up front and in the back end.
Yep, and that's obviously something. And you mentioned the back end. That to me, for the defense, that's the biggest question heading into next year is, what is this secondary going to look like? Because it was pretty rough to watch at times yesterday, and we'll see what happens and what Josh Heupel is able to do over the offseason there. Speaking of Josh Heupel, when we come back, there was a series of decisions yesterday that honestly drove me nuts that Josh Heupel made. We'll get to that and more coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Storms will be developing tonight, some of which could be strong to severe. This will mainly be after 9 p.m. Another round of storms will be possible Saturday afternoon and evening that could be strong to severe.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Did you not get everything on your Christmas list? Well, shop at Social Furniture for their half-off after Christmas sale. Head down to Social Furniture on the west side today for half off on selective items. First come, first served on the best selection of furniture. Social Furniture has truckloads after truckloads of all your furniture needs. Their showroom is packed, wall-to-wall with great merchandise. If you're looking for that new living room set you didn't get, it's here. Thousands of combinations to choose from. A new dining room, a new bedroom. No matter what, you will find it here at Social Furniture. Come down to Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue to see what you can save today. The best part is there's no waiting. Take home your new furniture today, or with Social Furniture's same-day delivery. They have 12 months same as cash. Hurry up and come down to Social Furniture today for their half-off after Christmas sale before it's gone. That's right, half-off select items. Visit Social Furniture on the west side at 5412 Charlotte Avenue or on the web at mysocialfurniture.com.
Didn't get what you wanted for Christmas this year? Never fear. Hi-Fi Buys is here, and we have it in stock. We plan months in advance for our legendary After Christmas sale, and this year is no exception. We made special purchases ahead of supply chain shortages and huge price increases. Of course, some prices have risen, but we made sure you can still get the quality you want at a price you can live with. Come see the incredible After Christmas deals on 4K, 8K, OLED TVs and projectors, special event pricing on surround receivers, speakers, soundbars, subwoofers, wireless streaming components, and much more. High-quality brands such as Sony, Denon, Klipsch, Definitive Technology, Golden Ear, and more. High-performance brands, Macintosh, Wilson Audio, Bowers & Wilkins, Martin Logan. Get over to Hi-Fi Buy's After Christmas sale. Showroom on Nolensville Road, or visit hifibuysnashville.com. Manufacturers that prohibit discounting excluded.
Hey, this is Jared, the owner of MTGRT.com. Are you thinking about that dream home? Are you looking to make a move? It all starts with a strong pre-approval letter from our team here at MTGRT.com. Strong pre-approvals from a trusted name ensure your offers get top billing. Let us help you make your dream home a reality. Text me on my cell today at 615-969-2257 or schedule a time for us to talk online at MTGRT.com.
Are you a father that is passionate about your fundamental constitutional right to parent your own child or children? Has your parenting time or your income been affected by COVID? This is Amanda J. Gentry, and I am a fierce defender of your constitutional rights. The courts in Tennessee are under an obligation to maximize equal parenting time. We do not live in an every other weekend world anymore. At the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, fathers are extremely important, much like my own father was. Go to AmandaJGentry.com or call or text 615-604-6263. That's AmandaJGentry.com.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Disappointed in the outcome. Disappointed for everybody inside of the locker room tonight. They left everything out on the field. Disappointed in the result, but man, the journey's been unbelievable. When we took over this program 11 months ago, where it was and who and where it is today, two completely. Just proud of these guys. They've come so far, man, and. Special thanks to our seniors, guys that stayed, that fought, that competed, that bought in, that led, that showed what the spirit of a volunteer is. Our young men that aren't seniors, that will be coming back. How much growth they've shown over the course of 11 months, on and off the field. Just so proud of them, and so disappointed for them in tonight. Disappointed for our fans in the outcome of the game too. Man, the passion of our fan base is just it's not surpassed anywhere in college football, man. They are on fire, man. Driving up with the buses tonight was a special scene, as good as I've ever been a part of, and appreciate all of their support tonight through the bowl season, but really all season long, and appreciate them being on this journey with us.
That was Josh Heupel, Tennessee head coach, yesterday after they fall 48-45 to Purdue in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl at Nissan Stadium. And Joe, obviously, I think Josh Heupel has done a great job in his first year with Tennessee. I mean, the outcome of this game to me, and we talked about this yesterday before the game was even played, the outcome of this game to me doesn't really change that one way or the other when it comes to Josh Heupel and the job that he did this year. So, look, I think Tennessee fans have a lot to be excited about as they move forward with Josh Heupel. I will say there's one part of Josh Heupel and the coaching that is starting to bug me a little bit, and it's a very minute thing in the grand scheme of things. But we talked about this in the Florida game as well at halftime, the clock management and leaving points on the board at halftime, and maybe when you're in a 2-minute offense, which is funny because Tennessee is basically always in a 2-minute offense with how they run their offense. I thought the play calling and what they tried to do to set up that game-winning field goal yesterday was atrocious. I mean, you start off with 2 running plays. You don't use any of the 3 timeouts you have at your disposal, and you're acting like you're already in field goal range, and they weren't. And then finally, when the clock ticks down to 22 seconds left, 21 seconds left, wherever the clock was, instead of going for the 10, 12 yards that you might need to get in field goal range, you take 2 shots to the end zone to try to score a touchdown before setting up the field goal. And then you have a 57-yarder that you're going to try to see if your college field goal kicker can kick. And, of course, he was short, and they didn't get it, and you go into overtime at that point after that. But I just thought the play calling to try to set up that game-winning field goal attempt was atrocious. I hated the 2 runs to begin the play. You got to pass the ball. It kind of feels like this to me, Joe. And look, this is, in the grand scheme of things, a very minor thing to complain about with the way this offense operates. I understand that. But it kind of feels like to me they're either throwing short bubble screens or they're throwing deep. There's not a whole lot of intermediate in this Tennessee game, and I thought that really came back to bite them on that drive.
So I partially agree. I mean, I think we had this big debate. I think you and I agree. Was it the Florida game?
It was the Florida game.
Yeah. Tempo is great, but there are times pop a timeout, man. Pop a timeout. And I understand now the defense is against that, but while you're going fast and even while the defense is struggling to get set, you're still losing like 9-10 seconds that you can't afford to lose. Like you have to change how you approach things sometimes. Just to play the correct clock game. Now, on the 2 deep shots, I guess my only, and I know that Heupel said that's on me, but I think sometimes often coaches are going to say that's on me, even if it isn't. I think at least on one of those, that was not his first read. And he saw, remind me, Tillman was one of them.
Tillman was one. I think, I want to say Velus Jones may have been the other.
And on one of those plays, there was a clear hold, by the way, a jersey hold. There are some nice screenshots of the jersey hold.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yes. That, wasn't called by this outstanding officiating crew. There was nothing wrong with them. It just, let's ignore the bad officiating. So I think it's probably more Hooker making the decision to go to those routes. There were other receivers on the routes. I don't think either of those plays were like, you are going here. We're taking the deep shot. So I think that's probably more a criticism of Hooker on those plays. But I agree with you. It did seem yesterday like it's either real quick short or it's deep, and like where's the middle of the field? There were some plays that actually Princeton Fant needed to make yesterday in the middle of the field.
Got to catch the ball.
Yeah, some well thrown passes from Hooker that he's got to catch. But they botched it. Whether it's, how much you want to put on the coaches or Hooker, that was rough. Like just throw a 10, 12-yard pass. I know. I mean, the thing is with this offense, like at one point he checked down to Tillman on a play. And the way this offense stretches a defense vertically, like you've got those not just like the quick short check down to a back, you got like 8-yard check downs to like your one receiver you keep in like all day, Yeah. And so that was a big blown opportunity. And obviously, if you just get them 10 yards closer, I think you got a good chance of just winning the game and never having any of this overtime mess.
Well, that's the thing that drove me nuts. It's like it kind of felt like from the way they started the drive, it's like they felt that they were already in field goal range. I'm like, no, man, you got about 35 yards you're going to have to pick up here, man. You're sitting here handing the ball off on an inside zone to Jabari Small twice to begin the drive when you got 35 seconds left. I mean, I just thought that was not good from Josh Heupel yesterday.
I say I'm okay with one of those because obviously it was just a possession earlier or 2 possessions earlier. He rips off a 60-yarder, right? Yeah. So I'm okay giving that a look because you might pop one, but I agree. Then you don't go back. Then let's go. You got to go. And I agree it seemed to be a little bit of a misunderstanding of the exact time situation. And it's just, there was one moment in there, I'm like, you have to right now use one of your timeouts. You're going to sit there and take those into overtime. Why? I mean, use them now. That was disappointing. Also disappointing, more fake injuries. By the way, Heupel said the officials actually said to him they want to see that rule change. So there you go.
I got into a big argument with a Purdue fan about this in the stands yesterday. I'm talking about a big one. There was some screaming going on.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall to see that, Rob.
I mean, give us the recap.
I can't say anything that was said in that conversation on the air, I don't think.
So you were yelling about a guy faking an injury?
Yes.
And it was a real injury.
Yeah, they were just a complete denial. And then I brought up the video feed and showed him, and then he was a little less loud after that.
Robbie brought out the receipts.
Yeah, I was like, oh, looks like he's okay. He's just taking a knee in the middle of the game.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
That one was clear. Yeah, there was one where it's like, okay, they are looking at his calf, and maybe that is a real cramp. I could see defenses cramping after a game like that. But yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but they gotta revisit it. In fact, Tom Hart on the broadcast, and Jordan Rodgers were talking about just the rest of the series. You're out for the rest of the series. I would say at least like 3 plays, 5 plays, something like that. to where at least, you have quite a few guys on your defense who you're at least hesitant to do it with. Because right now it's like, just start falling down. And then you get into like a Tennessee guy gets hurt, and then the Purdue fans are booing, right?
Yeah.
Let's just boo all the injured players.
That's right. So, Joe, overall, a good season for Tennessee. You finished 7-6. Obviously, you would have liked to have that one yesterday against Purdue. But what do you make of this group that's coming back for Josh Heupel in 2022?
Well, one guy that we haven't talked about who very much intrigues me and has been very mistake prone and has not been perfect. But I tell you what, man, Jeremy Banks, if he has a great offseason, whatever that means, he's a heck of an athlete, but a great offseason trying to become a great player. He is a ball player. He had 20 tackles yesterday. He also should have made it 4 picks. It was a great zone drop, and man,
hit him right in the hands.
He had O'Connell totally fooled, and he just couldn't grab it. But like, there's a guy like they need, Byron Young yesterday, 8 tackles,
interception for Byron Young.
He forgot a pick. Like, there's some guys, there's some guys coming back on D. And they need to find more guys, but at least there are some playmakers coming back. So, you want to lean in on that. We don't know what's going to happen still ahead, like in the portal or in the late signing period. But look, I think just about every game next year, Tennessee has a chance to they're going to have a chance to, and we'll see on Cade Mays. I don't know what the feeling is on Cade Mays coming back. Too bad he couldn't play yesterday. There were times that really cost Tennessee with Dane Davis at right tackle. But, you got a potentially seasoned offensive line, Jabari Small, Tillman, Hyatt, other guys, the tight ends. This offense, if it has a great offseason together, could be as good as any offense in the country. And that alone gives you a chance to have a special season. I think they're probably about an 8-4 kind of team next year. But we saw what happened with Alabama this year. Georgia's sending another big wave of guys to the NFL. Florida's in transition. Let the hype begin. I think it's going to be a really interesting season that has a chance to be special because Hooker decided to come back.
Yeah, look, the offense, I think we know this. It's got a chance to be really good. Cedric Tillman coming back is a huge deal. Hendon Hooker coming back is a huge deal. I really like Jabari Small. Jalen Wright, we talked about Jalen Wright in the play at the end zone today. Jalen Wright to begin the season just didn't look like he knew what he was doing out there. I think he improved greatly as the season went on. So I think there's a lot to feel good about offensively if you're Tennessee. The big challenge is, all right, you've recruited a little bit of depth. You've recruited a little bit of help on defense. Can you develop those guys? Because to me, that's where you're going to have to give yourself a chance. You don't need, with an offense like you've got coming back, you don't need a shutdown defense, but you do need them to be deeper and to be able to play better, more consistently than they played this year. You're going to need that to happen. So that to me is the most intriguing thing this offseason, outside of the offense and how they develop together with a lot of guys coming back. You feel great about that if you're a Tennessee fan. Can Josh Heupel and this staff do some real work on the defensive side of the ball to where you are more times than not adequate there? Because yesterday largely it was just not, it wasn't good enough.
It wasn't. Now, remember, Purdue has lit up like 2 top 5 teams this year with that offense now with better players. So you got to remember that. Look, I think we thought that this defense was going to be atrocious, right? It set the school record, 8 TFLs yesterday, setting the school record with 102 in this year. So I think Tim Banks did a really good job with what he had. And now the question is, okay, can you bring in some more pieces? Can you develop some of these guys? Can you advance it even with losing guys like Jackson and Taylor and Butler and Blakely? That's going to be the big challenge. But I agree, just get it to a little more sound maybe and still be a defense that is aggressive and makes plays. Look, they're going to be in some shootouts next year. We know this, but I think they can win a lot of them.
Let's go to our text line real quickly, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Matt texting in says tempo and 2-minute offense are not the same. A coach must know the latter to compete against NFL-type teams like Alabama. Same with learning to take the points in OT instead of leaving a loss to an easy field goal by the other team. This coming from Matt on the text line.
I agree. I mean, I think that's totally fair. And there are times when it's like, dude, like just play the clock now, not just your offense.
Yeah, and that's something that Josh Heupel's going to have to get better at. I don't think there's any question about that. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the college football playoff taking place today. Are we going to get any good games in the semifinal round this year? We'll get to that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Did you see the Tennessee Titans? He has all the weapons to make it happen.
There's so much to pay attention to. Greeny from 9 to 11.
Ryan Tannehill is the most disrespected player.
Art and Han from 11 to 2.
You never stop punching.
They've got to learn how to close the deal.
And the Paul Feinbaum Show afternoons from 2 to 6.
Are these legitimate contenders to the party?
Your exclusive home for ESPN Radio in the Music City.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3, 9.
This is the Drive to the Playoffs, brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game in the Game Nashville app.
It's NFL Week 17, and on Sunday, Ryan Tannehill will be hosting his old team, the Miami Dolphins, in Nissan Stadium. He spoke to the media on Wednesday and said that Miami was a big part of his life, but this game is bigger than just facing his old stomping ground.
I'm thankful for my time in Miami. You know, it was a special time in my life. I grew a lot there as a person, as a player, became a father, grew as a husband, and grew on the field as well. So, you know, thankful for my time there. Obviously focusing on ourselves and what we have in front of us. It's a huge game for us. Obviously, they're coming in hot. They've been playing really good football on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be a good challenge for us. But we have a big opportunity here this week for us, and excited for that opportunity here at home.
Mike Vrabel spoke on his quarterback and said that he'll be a part of this franchise for a while.
Well, I think the focus is on this week. The focus is on the Dolphins. The reflection. You know, we want Ryan to be our quarterback for a long time, and so. I know he's focused on this week. That's where my focus is. That's where our football team's focus has to be. Is how are we going to, be able to execute the keys and taking care of the football.
I'm Michelle Knesvik with your Drive to the Playoffs on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Barlines and the Omni Hotel, one of Nashville's favorite downtown destinations, gets raving reviews from the locals. Live music, great food, and a favorite spot to watch your Nashville Predators on any of the 22 big screen TVs. And great food is an understatement. How about award-winning hot wings, Nashville hot chicken sandwiches, smoked brisket tacos, and in-house homemade pimento cheese sandwiches. Barlines, an official Predators preferred watch party location, 1 block from Bridgestone in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain like Heather?
I have terrible arthritis and have had it for quite a while, and I've gone to all kinds of doctors trying to figure out what to do, and everybody just said surgery, and surgery was months of rehab, and I didn't want to do that.
But then Heather discovered QC Kinetics, local medical professionals who specialize in natural biologic treatments, non-invasive solutions designed to repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. And she absolutely loves the results.
I like to tell anybody who's suffering that there are options that are not steroids, that are not surgery. You owe it to yourself to find out about QC Kinetics and find out what they can do for you.
No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Discover QC Kinetics and learn more about natural biologic treatments with lasting results.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. Don't wait. Call today. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
Here we are again, Finn, stocking up for the big day at Porvu.
That's right, Jolly. 10,000 square feet of wine, spirits, and over 1,500 domestic import and craft beers with a massive array of canned cocktails. Porvu has an amazing selection.
Porvu makes it easy to stock the sleigh with everything we'll need for our holiday parties and even last-minute gift ideas.
But will it all fit in the sleigh?
Not to worry, Finn. I placed our order on the online Porvu app, and I've arranged for curbside pickup at no charge. They even offer home delivery
delivery for the rest. What you getting for Trixie? Hard to find small batch, special selections, tequila? Ah, yes, Trixie loves that tequila, just like Blitzen. That's how he got his name, huh? Ooh, party supplies. Everything for our elf soiree. And Paul always gives us 10% off wine by the case. Oh, what are we getting the big guy? Well, after a long night of flying around the world, he likes to kick back with a good stogie. Paul has a walk-in humidor full of fine cigars. Oh, look, a tasting bar.
Porvu, Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. It's Robby and Rexrode with Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 2 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Volunteer State Bank, conveniently serving Middle Tennessee with 13 locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Robbie Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Joe Rexrode, it is finally college football playoff day here in Nashville, Tennessee. Looking forward to the matchups in the semifinals. You've got Alabama taking on Cincinnati, Georgia taking on Michigan tonight in the college football playoffs. Let's start with the Alabama and Cincinnati matchup. For Cincinnati to hang in there and make this a game with the Crimson Tide, what has to happen? What has to go well for Cincinnati in this game to be able to hang around and be in there once the fourth quarter comes around?
Well, it's Cincinnati's offense has to have the combination of finishing drives, because I think Cincinnati's offense is going to move between the 20s. I think ball control. I think Cincinnati's offense is going to have to dictate this game. It's just so hard with this matchup. If you just go by what we just saw from Alabama, then man, it's tough. It's tough. How are the Bearcats going to stop Bryce Young? Now, granted, Mechie being out does hurt Alabama, and Mechie was a big part of the win over Georgia before he got hurt. So let's not forget that. That's a huge loss. But still, that Alabama team we saw that day, I don't know that there's a great answer. The Alabama team we saw all year, I think Cincinnati is going to move the ball between the 20s. I think Desmond Ridder can have a big day. And I think it's like an NFL. It's going to be very much a red zone game. Can you finish? Because if you settle for field goals, I think Alabama's going to score a lot of points this game. I don't see anything. I think Cincinnati has a good defense, a credible defense, and a top 20 team type defense. But I don't like that defense's chances against Alabama, because I know Alabama still has great skill. Yep. And Alabama's offensive line had to be the most surprising thing about the SEC championship game. It's really been a problem this year. It's one of the reasons I thought Bryce Young wasn't getting enough Heisman love in the first place, because he was playing behind. He was under duress a lot this year. And then all of a sudden,
which is surprising to me, because you look at that offensive line on paper and there's no reason it should be that way.
Well, that's true. But it was in so many games. So then all of a sudden Georgia, it's just Bryce Young's just untouched back there. What? that was stunning. If you go from the Auburn game to the Georgia game, it makes no sense that that happened up front. But you're right. They should be more the Georgia game.
Got coached up by Bill O'Brien. When you're getting coached up by Bill O'Brien as that season goes on, we know that's going to make a big old difference.
That is a fair point. Now, he may try to trade half of you for some more interns, but to me, Cincinnati hangs in this game by valuing every single possession and just doing what it does. And I think that what it can do, even against Alabama, move the ball and score points. If you're Cincinnati, you have to obviously account for Will Anderson. Everybody has to account for Will Anderson. But Alabama, they don't have they don't have the absolute disruptive forces in the interior that they've had in some years with that defense. And I think their secondary is vulnerable too. So it's got to be, it's like a shootout, but also if you can have some like 7-minute touchdown drives, that'd be great for you.
Andrew from Dover on our text line says, Happy New Year to you all. I work at FedEx and listen to y'all every day while I'm driving around. Only other thing I got to say is roll tide. We're coming for another championship. This coming from Andrew from Dover. Andrew, thanks for listening. Happy New Year to you. And
thank you, Andrew.
I like your chances.
Happy New Year. I like your chances
I'll leave it that way. Georgia taking on Michigan tonight. And to me, what is a very intriguing game. I really like Georgia in this game. I think there's been a lot of, maybe Georgia wasn't really all that good all season long that's been out there the last couple of weeks. I think they're going to pounce on Michigan tonight. Look, I think Michigan's got a very good defense, and I still don't know that I love Stetson Bennett being the guy that's out there throwing the ball around for Georgia. I think, if you force him to make some plays on a consistent basis, can he do it? I think that's a legitimate question as we move into this game. But that Georgia defense, to me, I think they got a pride check this last time out. I think they're going to be tenacious tonight against Michigan. I like Georgia big in this game.
Yeah, the problem, the reason I thought this was a bad matchup from the start for Michigan is that Michigan is a physical team, and this is what it comes down to for me. Michigan is a physical team with a good offensive line. I think they won like the offensive line award this year, so it's a very good offensive line. But they're so bad. They need to run the football to have success. They don't have the guys outside who scare you. They got some young guys who I think could turn into really good players, and they've gotten a lot better. And Cade McNamara, really since the Michigan State game, they blew that game, but he was great in that game. And he's been really good since. He was great against Ohio State. This Georgia defense, I just don't see how they run the ball. And if they don't run the ball and Cade McNamara is in 3rd and 9, it's a bad formula. So Michigan's going to have to be creative too on offense. Like it's a big OC day for Josh Gaddish, who I think has done a great job. They're going to have to be creative to find yardage because you're right. Georgia is what we think Georgia was all year. Alabama got them. All credit to Alabama. Don't be fooled into thinking Georgia isn't great on defense. Now, on the other side of the ball, I think Michigan, when you have two pass rushers, in Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo, who could both be top 10, top 15 picks.
Yep.
That's elite. And that's how they beat Ohio State, and Hutchinson got himself to New York with that performance in that game. Now, a big key today is Dax Hill, really important DB for Michigan, who I guess is unvaccinated and has been in the protocols, and Jim Harbaugh is, being weird about like whether he's going to play or not. Boy, they need him in this game for sure. This is also, I agree with you on Stetson Bennett, but I actually like what I've heard from Georgia's coaches this week, kind of, and you expect it, like give him a vote of confidence, but he's good enough. He's good enough to me. If everything else about that team is performing as it should, for this team to win 2 games and win it all.
So we're ready for Alabama and Georgia part 2 is what we're saying?
I think so, but I also think that we have a shot today to have 2 really good semifinals. I'm being optimistic and hopeful, but I think we're going to have entertaining games today.
I hope so. I don't know if it's going to match the Music City Bowl. Never thought I'd say that, but good stuff yesterday in the Music City Bowl.
The Music City Bowl is sweet. By the way, speaking of other bowl games, the absolute surrender Cobra panicky text I was getting last night from Brennan in the stands in Atlanta. Peyton Thorne is trash. I'm leaving. We're leaving early. It was like 21-10 in the third, Pittsburgh. And I'm like, don't leave the game. The game is not over. There's a long way to go. And then, of course, at the end, they went, oh yeah. But apparently, like the Michigan State quarterback, Peyton Thorne, was getting all these nice comments from fans in the stands, like, hey, hang in there, Peyton, as he was playing terrible. And dude, good thing it wasn't like the mean tweet segment where they're reading Brennan's texts. Yeah, that might have discouraged him and had him quit too, and then it wouldn't have turned out that way. But luckily, all worked out well for Sparty Nation.
Congrats to Sparty, taking down Pat Narduzzi in Pittsburgh 31-21 last night. Would have liked to see Kenny Pickett in that game, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, we like seeing Kenny Pickett. We like seeing Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. It's a bad offensive line. What he did this year behind that offensive line, incredible. Like they had like 50 yards on 30 carries last night. Like they're not good up front. But yeah, that would have been the opt-out, man. If you aren't a playoff game anymore, doesn't matter what else you are, you're gonna the Rose Bowl. All kinds of Ohio State stars are gonna be sitting out. You're just gonna not have a good. You're gonna have a lot of people missing.
When we come back, we'll get into the Titans and the Dolphins coming up this weekend, including maybe a potential health scare on the Titans front. We'll get to that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Can the Titans take care of business in a key AFC matchup against the Dolphins?
End zone throw open, and Hollins has a Dolphin touchdown.
Or will Miami play spoiler at Nissan Stadium?
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Tune in all day Monday for full reaction to Titans Dolphins.
Talking Titans
on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Get a king bed for a queen price at Mattress Firm and save up to $500 on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
Hi, guys. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction today and get your love life back just in time for the holidays. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
What's up, everybody? This is Teron Davenport, and I am here to tell you about Freedom Tire Guys. They're Nashville's premier mobile tire service. New tires, rotating, balancing, flat repair, torquing, they do it all. I can tell you this from personal experience. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at the Titans facility. They came there and changed my tires, all 4 of them. They did an excellent job. My car is riding extra smooth now. If you're in need of tire service, be sure to check them out at freedomtireguys.com. If you don't see the tires you want, they'll go ahead and get it for you.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
say that Ryan has like a different level of confidence when A.J. Brown is on the field with him? It seemed like, some of the throws he was making were the ones that are reminiscent of 2020 and 2019.
I've always operated under the assumption that confidence is built off repeated action, right? And so when you get opportunities to work with guys, as many reps as he has throwing those routes full speed to AJ, although we haven't had as many lately in practice, he knows where AJ is going to be coming out of a strike route. He knows where AJ is going to be if he, gives him a chance at a jump ball or a back shoulder ball. So there's a lot of logged reps and banked reps there. And so that's where I think you see that confidence coming from. And I agree. I think it does look different when we're throwing on time and we're cutting it loose to a spot and we're getting open physically and with speed. I agree there is a different look to it.
Certainly a different look last week with A.J. Brown back in there for the Titans as they took on San Francisco. Now the question is, what's A.J. Brown going to look like against Miami coming up on Sunday as well? A.J. Brown yesterday, Joe Rexrode, did show up on the injury report, did not practice because of a calf injury. Now, there have been reports that have come out about this, about how it was largely precautionary, him not being on the practice field yesterday, and that his status for Sunday is not really much in doubt at this point. I guess my question to you is, this is yet another situation of A.J. Brown ending up on the injury report this year. Are you concerned about this as both he moves forward here throughout the stretch of this regular season and for the team as well, with A.J. Brown back on the injury report with a calf injury?
Well, it's not great. And there's the current situation, the need for this offense to have him, the obvious difference in this passing game with and without him that has been made abundantly clear in the last week. And then there's pretty soon the Titans probably need to give him a huge contract. And right now I would be in favor of that. Yep. If I were making the decisions in that building, and thankfully for Titans fans, I'm not, I would be planning to set aside a big chunk of money to keep A.J. Brown around here for a long time. I'm also looking at the last couple of years and saying, knee and shoulder and chest and hamstring and calf. And, it's concerning now. And I just don't like, a do not participate in the middle of this when even though Todd Downing, I hear what he's saying for sure. I still think practice is important, and it's just not great to have him miss. Today, Mike Vrabel will shed a lot of clarity on this. Mike Vrabel does give the inactives. I wouldn't expect A.J. Brown to be on that.
No.
But I think it's also worth looking today. Is he at least a partial participant in practice? Because, a calf injury that keeps you out of practice a couple days, it's got to be something more than, just a tiny little thing. So I think it's concerning, and it's just the fact that it's just a new part of his body. He's got a lot of spots have been affected here in the last year plus.
Well, it would just be nice to get him through like a 4-week period where he doesn't get hurt. Like
right.
that would be really. Look, I don't think there's any question about it. When he's on the field, A.J. Brown's a monster. I would love to see what A.J. Brown could do on the field when he's healthy for a consistent stretch. Think about what he did last year. He was awesome for the Titans. As we later found out, he's basically hurt the whole year for the Titans and still put up the numbers he put up. Look, this is with over 100 yards and a touchdown this short into your career. He's on lists with guys like Randy Moss. Like, obviously, he's had a tremendous start to his career. I will say, the injuries are concerning with A.J. Brown as they move forward here. Now, I'm not saying that the Titans shouldn't give him a long-term contract, because I think if you're a Titans fan that's been around long enough, you know how difficult it's been to get a guy like A.J. Brown to walk through that door. So they're going to give him a long-term contract. They should give him a long-term contract. I'm 100% cool with that. I will say, at the age of 24, with the injuries being as consistent as they've been with him, and he's not had anything major to this point, obviously, but just little things here or there that have hindered him so far in his career, that is concerning to me as they move forward. Is that going to stop at some point? Are we going to see an extended stretch of time where A.J. Brown is healthy, he's ready to go, and maybe he turns into one of the most dominant wide receivers in the league.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's sometimes hard to forget. I mean, this is just his third full season. It was really incident free as a rookie, and then heavier usage, more dependence on him last year. And you're talking about now 2 of his 3 professional seasons that have been hampered or at least affected by injuries. I will say that his performance through injuries has been awfully impressive.
Yeah,
but you keep getting them, and it's some guys just get injuries all the time and are injury prone. You don't want that tag. I think last year he showed his toughness and how good he is with what he was doing through the knee, because you're out there torching people and running through tackles, and then you're coming to the sideline grimacing and wincing in pain a lot. But yeah, they really need him to be healthy. They need to be, and look, if you do take him out for this game in the short term here, I look at this game differently. I don't know how you can't. It's just he's critical. I think that who's more important, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry? I think it actually is a better argument than some people might think, because, I mean, as Corey Curtis said, like, they have run the ball well. I still think, you could make the case, that your best player is who you would pick. But you take 11 out of this passing game right now, and it is a bigger, I think, drop off to what it is without him than what the running game has been without Derrick Henry. It's a drop off to slim pickings.
Now, there was some good news for the Titans on the injury front. Again, yesterday, Taylor Lewan, a full participant for the second consecutive day with the back injury. So it looks like he's going to be good to go coming up on Sunday against Miami. David Long Jr., a full participant as well on Thursday. So back-to-back days of full participation for both Lewan and David Long. That is very good for the Titans as they move forward.
Well, maybe the best news was that, Nate Davis comes off the COVID list, and no one on the active roster is added. So it, as of now, we'll see today, but as of now, it doesn't look like this is like some ongoing outbreak, where you're adding a couple guys a day. And now the offensive line, the only person on the offensive line who's still on the list as of right now is Kendall Lamb, who you don't want to play anyway if you're the Titans. So that's all good news. And David Long is, if he's available, that'll be interesting too. I mean, what's your starting linebacker group? I still might be Evans Cunningham, but I got to think, if Long's ready, you want a lot of Long Sunday.
Especially in this matchup with the short passing game being as much of a focal point for that Miami offense as we know that it is. It'd be pretty nice to have David Long Jr. out there.
No doubt. Yeah. So a lot of good things that, the injury report yesterday, it's like, wow, that's short. And that's better. That's better. And then at the very bottom, A.J. Brown, calf. Yep. It's like, oh boy, we'll see. Today's a big day on that front. Because even if he's, able to go, but it bothers him, is it going to be something that lingers? Do you need to shut him down again? If you shut him down again to make sure he's healthy next week, you might lose this game.
We'll continue the conversation on the Titans and the Dolphins. Take more of your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We'll also get to something that we noticed yesterday at Nissan Stadium that could be a huge problem coming up on Sunday in this game as well. More of that coming up on the other side. I'm here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on Weston Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. We know what a big deal that is in downtown Nashville. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar, and you can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches, the flatbread pizzas, and the famous smash burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue. Once again, that's 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
Titans, Dolphins.
And the Titans in business.
The Titans look to continue their winning ways at home. Tune in Sunday at 9:30 for NFL pregame live from Boomba's in East Nashville with Jared Stillman.
Can the defense carry the Titans today?
Chris Sanders.
They got to make the play, secure the ball.
And Mark Howard.
Listen, you cannot make mental mistakes.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Titans on threes, 1, 2, 3, Titans!
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
It's the half-off after Christmas sale at Social Furniture. Head down to Social Furniture today to receive half off on select items. That's right, half off on select items. They have truckloads of the best selection of furniture and have all your furniture needs. Hurry up and come down to Social Furniture today for the best selection of furniture before it's gone. Visit Social Furniture on the west side at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. On the web at mysocialfurniture.com. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas, they've gone from a community bank to a nationwide mortgage lender. BOE delivers innovative mortgage products with superior customer service and the most knowledgeable loan officers in Nashville. Find your nearest location in Middle Tennessee at BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Make Smoke Token the only stop for your holiday shopping, offering the largest selection of smoking products and accessories. We are the only place you need to go. Located in Nashville and Murfreesboro, Smoke Token is here and ready to help. Mention this commercial for 15% off your purchase.
Didn't get what you wanted for Christmas this year? Never fear. Hi-Fi Buys is here, and we have it in stock. We plan months in advance for our legendary After Christmas sale, and this year is no exception. We made special purchases ahead of supply chain shortages and huge price increases. Of course, some prices have risen, but we made sure you can still get the quality you want at a price you can live with. Come see the incredible After Christmas deals on 4K, 8K, OLED TVs and projectors, special event pricing on surround receivers, speakers, soundbars, subwoofers, wireless streaming components, and much more. High-quality brands such as Sony, Denon, Klipsch, Definitive Technology, Golden Ear, and more. High-performance brands, Macintosh, Wilson Audio, Bowers & Wilkins, Martin Logan. Get over to Hi-Fi Buy's After Christmas Sale. Showroom on Nolansville Road, or visit HiFiBuysNashville.com. Manufacturers that prohibit discounting excluded.
Tune in to Stillman and Company every Friday at 5 o'clock.
I am glad to be on this show.
To hear from Nashville sports media personality Chad Withrow of Outkick 360.
He's 6'4", he's 260 pounds, he runs 21 miles per hour.
Brought to you by Apple Collision Centers.
This could be the best game of the weekend between these two teams.
Withrow joins Stillman and Company Fridays at 5.
Happy to join you guys every Friday.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What's happening in Nashville? This is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
It's Free Beer Friday, served by Joyland in East Nashville. Text in the keyword JOY to the game text line right now at 615-737-1025. That's JOY to 615-737-1025 and be qualified to win a Joy Beer and Joyland's new Smash Burger Deluxe. Free Beer Friday, brought to you by Joyland in East Nashville. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We've got Call Your Shot Friday coming up at 7:45. Teron Davenport, our man, joining us at 8 o'clock, previewing the Titans and the Dolphins. And as always, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. So, Joe, I'm sitting there in the stands yesterday at Nissan Stadium watching the Music City Bowl, and about, 10, 12 minutes into the game, my brother leans over to me and says, "Hey, doesn't it kind of feel like people are falling down left and right out there, slipping around all over the place?" And I said, "Yeah, it kind of does." And as the game goes on, it just got worse and worse. People falling around left and right. Hendon Hooker dropped back to pass one time, I think it was to Javonte Payton, and stepped into a throw. And it looked like he was doing the splits out there. The ball ends up being incomplete, where Javonte Payton had to trap it on the ground because Hendon Hooker slipped while he was throwing the ball. It was awful out there yesterday. Both players on Purdue and Tennessee just slipping and falling down left and right. the field condition was terrible. I mean, it was terrible yesterday at the Music City Bowl. And look, I get it. There are Titans games that are played there. TSU's played there. Nashville SC has played there. That field has seen a lot of action in the last few months. So I'm sensitive to that. I understand that causes problems and that there's a lot of work that's involved to try to get that to a level where it's acceptable. But that was a major problem yesterday at the Music City Bowl. And oh, by the way, it's about to rain all weekend long, and then it's going to be about 30 degrees on Sunday when this game takes place between the Dolphins and the Titans as well. So, Joe, this field on Sunday could be a pretty massive issue when it comes to the Titans and Dolphins playing on Sunday at Nissan Stadium.
This has happened before, first of all, where the Music City Bowl took place and it was, and then a Titans game was coming up soon after, and you're like, man, the field, how's that going to be? But I don't think I can't recall it being this bad, this obvious. I think back to like the Cleveland Browns old, I don't know if it was Municipal Stadium or whatever, but it used to be like at this time of year, the Cleveland Browns would play games on that field, and it was just like, it was like a mud pit. It was just awful. Like, the middle of the field, you could barely tell it was a grass field. But the difference yesterday is that there was so much, like a torn up field is one thing that looks ugly. Okay, but fine, wear the right cleats and you're okay. But like the slipping on the field yesterday, the loss of footing was really alarming. And I'm really interested to see what can be done here in a short period of time. This is going to be a heck of a job ahead. Like you said, now you have rain, especially I think it's coming in tonight, right? I think rain is coming tonight, and it's going to be, it's
going to rain all weekend, basically.
Rain, and then Sunday is potentially one of the coldest games ever in Nashville Stadium history. If the front works out the way it's forecast, I mean, maybe that's good. If you freeze it over, does that make it a better field? Like a sheet of like half ice versus a sloshy mud pit? I don't know.
Just getting ready for the Preds and Lightning a couple months earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. And then the question to me is, if it is like that, who does that favor? I guess the initial instinct would be it favors a team that can run the football. But then again, with bad field conditions, the people who know where they're going usually have the edge of the people who are trying to react to that. So could also mean big plays in the passing game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really interested to see what it looks like on Sunday, because I mean, it was funny. They showed, I think, Cole Kubelik on the broadcast yesterday, like basically just took a knee and got this towel out there and just pressed it into the ground and pulls it back up. The field's just soaking wet. It didn't rain yesterday. It's not like it was some sort of monsoon they were playing in yesterday, but the field was just so wet heading into that game. It was, I don't know what you do about it in the next couple of days when it's just going to be raining the whole time. Like, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what this field looks like. And to your point, like, this is not the first time we've had this conversation about Nissan Stadium's playing surface. I mean, there were people left and right last night talking about how, like, John Madden one time on a broadcast was complaining about the playing conditions and the surface at Nissan Stadium. And this has been a conversation that we've had multiple times over the years here in Nashville. As the season gets later, that field, and look, it's not just that field that gets worse. As seasons go on, the fields get worse and the playing conditions get worse. We understand that. It was bad yesterday, and I am very interested to see what this looks like on Sunday against Miami.
So should they switch to field turf?
I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it.
I'd kind of hate it. Hate it. I love grass.
I know you do.
I mean, I think that in the climate we're in, with a nice outdoor stadium, I know that the stadium needs upgrades, of course, and I believe those are coming, without knowing exactly what Amy Adams-Strunk has in mind. She's given some hints, but I love, early parts of the season, like a nice day outdoors in that setting with a grass field. And look, field turf is obviously way, way better than the old AstroTurf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, some of those cookie cutter, like 70s stadiums, football and baseball, with just the I mean, basically it's just green colored cement and the big, like the fissures in the turf and people tearing up their knees and losing.
Ugh.
I mean, Billy Sims, lost his career on one of those little dividers in AstroTurf at the Silverdome. Terrible. Yeah. This field turf is way better, but grass is still better for your body and still better for the impact on your legs and feet than field turf. And that's my case for grass. But if you're going to keep grass, you got to figure something out to not let it get to this.
Well, we can't have people sliding around left and right in the game coming up on Sunday. It looks like there's a pretty good chance there's going to be at least a playoff game there coming up in a few weeks. Like, the field's going to have to be something that gets figured out. But like what happened yesterday in the Music City Bowl is not acceptable as you move forward here. Like that can't happen.
The good thing is on that front, well, I guess it depends on how things work out, but if things break your way, you play Sunday and then you could have several weeks to get that thing in order if things really break your way. But even if they don't, at least you'd have a couple weeks to try to get it ready for a playoff game if you're the 2 seed or the 3 seed or whatever. So it should be better by then. But yeah, Sunday could be interesting. And obviously, when conditions like that, maybe it would favor the Titans, but also leaves a game more up to chance than it should be.
Yeah, going to be interested to see what the field looks like coming up on Sunday against the Dolphins. Let's go to our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Jim texting in says, do you think the debate over who is more important with Henry or Brown is more about the quality of who they have replacing the production? The balanced attack seems to be maintained at a higher level with Henry out than it is with A.J. Brown out. This coming from Jim on the text line.
Well, definitely. And what's interesting about that is that the Titans invested a lot in a guy who should be able to step into that role, right? Without A.J. Brown. Whereas in the running game, the replacements are 2 guys who weren't even in the league. But I also think that speaks to the offensive line. This offensive line, especially with Lewan and Saffold in, is a very good run blocking offensive line. It has not been a good pass blocking offensive line. So that's also part of the equation here, is that those replacement running backs have played really well, especially for guys who weren't in the league, but also like the run game operation is good when they have everybody together for whatever various reasons. And I think it's a lot of individual reasons, but for whatever reason, all the reasons, they have not pass protected well. And so that, along with just everybody else in the receiving core, is, there's some decent players who can make a play here and there, but no one who scares a defense like A.J. Brown. And Julio Jones is again the reason. If Julio Jones is what he was supposed to be, then I don't think there'd be any debate at all.
By the way, quick side note, we've had a lot of fun at the public address announcer's expense so far this year with the Titans. Yesterday was my first time being there in person. It was quite entertaining yesterday.
So thumbs up, because I've seen a lot of people complain about this. You got a thumbs up on this?
I don't know that I would go thumbs up. I would say it kind of felt like more of a television play-by-play than it did a public address announcer.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't pay a lot of mind when I'm in the press box to what he's saying. You got stuff going on.
Except when Taylor Lewan comes back in the game.
Right, except and here he goes, Pro Football Focus grade 33.7, Taylor Lewan. But I've heard a lot. It's a change, and sometimes change automatically is going to bring complaints. But it sounds like maybe some toning down might be in order.
I think he's got a great voice. I think he does a great job. Sometimes,
good voice.
Sometimes less is more. That's all I would say. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. And look, I'm, as someone who struggles with that on various fronts, I can relate.
Make sure you play Silly Underdog Picks today. Pick 3 football underdog teams you think will win this week for a chance to win tickets to an upcoming sporting event or concert. Go to thegamenashville.com for more details and to play. Silly Underdog Picks is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. When we come back, it is time for Call Your Shot Friday. We need your bold predictions in the world of sports. Hit up our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Call Your Shot Friday coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. We're looking at a decent day today. Partly cloudy skies out there. Temperatures into the mid-60s. Strong to severe storms, though, will be possible New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Need a new roof? Get a roof built with integrity from E2 Roofing. E2 is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 95 five-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local roofer with 90 five-star Google reviews and Better Business Bureau A+ rating. E2 assists customers with roof repair and replacements through insurance claim assistance. Find out if insurance will pay for your new roof with a free inspection at e2roofingnashville.com.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations: Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction today and get your love life back just in time for the holidays. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Hey, this is Jared, the owner of MTGRT.com. Has your lender discussed long-term and short-term total costs? Our goal with our clients is to ensure that they make the best decisions for their situation. Strong analysis ensures you're getting the right loan for you from the get-go. Let us help you make your dream home a reality. Text me on my personal cell today at 615-969-2257 or schedule a time for us to talk online at MTGRT.com.
Jared Stillman.
It's kind of a big deal around here. Kind of a big deal in these parts.
And company.
It's not just the trust, it's the way he gets open, and it's the routes that he runs.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 1025 The Game. The sports weekend has arrived. You know what that means.
Shoot your shot.
It's time for Call Your Shot Friday with Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And it is that time of the week, time for Call Your Shot Friday here on Robby and Rexrode. We need your bold predictions in the world of sports. The Titans game on the table, everything in the world of sports on the table this weekend. College football playoff as well. Hit up our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Now, we did not have any called shots last week. So
I was wondering if you guys called any shots.
We did not. We took the week off from Call Your Shot Friday last week. We're back at it here today. So with that in mind, Michelle Knezovic, would you like to kick us off today on today's edition of Call Your Shot Friday?
I would love to, and I have some out-of-pocket shots, guys.
Hey, but actually, real fast before you do, should we review the shots from the 17th since you guys didn't do it last week?
If you would like to, go right ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go, Joe.
Okay, real fast. Okay, this is going in the Steelers game. Bud Dupree will play. Won't get a sack, but a QB hit on Roethlisberger will lead to a Jayon Brown interception. No. Deontay Foreman rushed for more than 100. Did he have more than 100? He did, yeah?
Yeah.
I think so.
Boom. Memphis will pull the shocker over the Vols. A game I'm very excited to see. And Colts will beat the Pats. Got that right, too. Michelle, Colts will beat the Pats by 2 touchdowns or more. Almost got that right. Bud Dupree, 2 sacks versus Ben. He did get 1. Najee Harris will rush for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. No. Tom Brady will win the MVP. That's a long-term one. I don't think is going to come true, but it's possible. Robby, Kenny Chandler wins. Okay, has 25 or more. Vols win by 15 or more over Memphis. We know how that turned out.
We'll just assume that happened.
Patriots by a TD or more at Indy. No, you Patriots lover. Julio Jones will score a TD for the Titans with 6 or more catches. That sure didn't happen. Tannehill breakout performance, throws for more than 300, sacked once, no picks. It wasn't great. And then Davis Mills will beat the Jags on Sunday. Oh, baby. Hello.
Big Davis Mills guy.
There we go. That's
Big Davis Mills guy. So, Michelle Konezvik, now would you like to kick us off on Call Your Shot Friday?
Heck yes, I would. Okay, starting off, the Titans will shut out the Dolphins at home. Dolphins 0 on the scoreboard. And now I'm giving some love to Cincinnati, the entire city of Cincinnati. First off, Cincinnati beats Alabama by a field goal.
Oh, boy.
It's a bold one.
Wow. That is a shot. I love that shot.
Yeah, okay. I'm giving some more love to Cincinnati. Joe Burrow and the Bengals will beat the Kansas City Chiefs by 7 points, 1 touchdown, and the extra point. They will beat them by at least 7.
I can see that.
And finally, Jeffrey Simmons will sack Tua twice.
So 2 sacks for Jeffrey Simmons in this game. The Cincinnati one taking down Alabama is spicy. I like that one.
It's super spicy. And then they'll win the national championship. Okay, now I'm done.
Wow, just doubling down on.
Might as well go big or go home.
Woo!
We'd have to really have a search and rescue party for Ryan Porth if that happens. We'll see what happens.
We would need to have him on the show if that happened.
That'd be a story.
I don't think we'd be able to find him. So, Rexrode, your called shots for the week.
First of all, as you give love to Cincinnati, you just gave me a great idea. For my birthday lunch today, I've got a couple cans of Skyline. I'm going to make noodles and crush some Skyline chili as I sit here alone in my house as my family chooses Sparty over me. But I'm very much looking forward to that.
I'm so jealous.
I got some long term. I got some hoops. Let me get through them fast. Okay, we're starting a new year. So let me give you some hoops takes.
All right.
The UT men's basketball team will make the first Final Four in its history. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. And I know that everybody's gonna say Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes has been to the Final Four before. He's about to double his Final Fours.
Nope.
The UT women's basketball team will reach the Elite 8. You get Ray Burrell back in there. I've been very impressed with how they've played without her. Get her back in there with Key and Horston and the other really good players they have. That's an Elite 8 team. The Vanderbilt men's basketball team will get Liam Robbins back, the big man from Minnesota who hasn't played yet. Make a run at an NCAA bid. Be a bubble team late in the season. We'll come up short, but we'll get to the NIT. And the Belmont men's basketball team will win an NCAA tournament game, which will double that total.
Wow.
And then 2 more short-term ones. Harold Landry will intercept Tua on Sunday. A lot of people complain whenever Landry does one of those zone drops. It's going to pay off Sunday. And Anthony Ferguson will score a touchdown.
Thank you. Shout out to Anthony Ferguson. I guess he's playing a little bit better as of late when he holds on to the ball.
It does help.
Good to see that moving forward. My called shots for the week. The Tennessee Titans will execute a fake punt in this game. They will execute a fake punt in this game against Miami. I don't know if it's going to be for a first down or for a touchdown, but let's just say first down. They'll get a first down on the fake punt in this game. Ryan Tannehill throws for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in this game. 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in this game for Ryan Tannehill, as he is probably, as we speak, doing one-handed push-ups, preparing himself for the Miami Dolphins this week.
There's no easy way out. Go ahead. Sorry.
Christian Fulton will have a pick 6 in this game. Christian Fulton with a pick 6 in this game. The Green Bay Packers win by 20 plus against Minnesota on Sunday Night Football. 20 plus against Minnesota. It's going to be about 1 degree at Lambeau Field on Sunday night. And that's not going to be good news for Minnesota in that game. And finally, both Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene each score 2 goals tomorrow against Chicago. Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene each score 2 goals against the Chicago Blackhawks. Those are my called shots of the week.
Those are some shots. So the Christian Fulton, if he does, would that be like the opposite of the, Robby and Rexrode curse? How have our guests done?
We need to keep track.
Look, in the ensuing game, we should have been tracking this.
I think our best friend of the show, Nick Westbrook-Akina, actually did pretty well in the game after he came on.
He had his first career touchdown.
Exactly. So,
in front of his girlfriend's family in Indy, his old stomping grounds.
And I'm sure he's listening right now thinking, how does Joe Rexrode know all this stuff? This is good stuff.
What's this weirdo's name again? Can I get him blocked? Can I get him banned from the facility? Is that possible?
Let's go to our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Steve from the Borough texting in says, my called shot, Derrick Henry comes back next week and runs for more than 120 yards.
Ooh.
Derrick Henry comes back next week against Houston and runs for more than 120 yards. That's a shot.
That is a shot.
I got a texter that says Michigan wins and they win easily against Georgia. So an easy win for Michigan against
Probably
Georgia.
Not.
That's a shot too. Someone else on the text line is doing the Kyle. To be fair, Georgia didn't end up playing to be tough all year. They played one team. They got smoked. Okay, we'll see.
Can I have one more called shot?
But we will see. Sure. Jump on in there.
January 15th, big day. Tennessee versus Kentucky basketball. Kentucky beats Tennessee by 10 or more points. Book it. Robbie Stanley.
I mean, what are you going to do that week now that you've called this shot now?
Oh, I'm going to just call a bigger one, and then I'm going to call the shot.
It'll be 30 by then.
And Robbie and I, let's do the bet again. Except I don't think I could wear that orange again. But I won't have to because we'll win.
Yeah, sure you will. It's gone really well for Kentucky basketball against Tennessee lately, too.
Kentucky basketball will also win the national championship. That's a long-term one for me.
I mean, you've said that like 19 times now. We know that that's your called shot.
I should make sure.
They have zero.
You just want to make sure that we remember. I swear we'll remember this.
Josh on the text line says the Colts will lose out and Golden Tate will start on Sunday and have 3 catches. So the Colts losing out to the Raiders and the Jags, and Golden Tate starting for the Titans on Sunday against Miami. Those are 2 spicy ones.
Well, that is spicy. Now, actually that brings up a good question. There do need to be some removals from the COVID list, or that actually could be a very good shot.
It could be. I don't know about the Colts losing out part of it. They do play the Jags.
That part of it is a very bad shot. But hey, if you get it, then there should be a prize pack involved.
Caleb on the text line, the Titans will host the AFC Championship. Caleb saying the Titans will host the AFC Championship. So I don't know if that means the Titans are the 1 seed or if Kansas City goes down. But Caleb's saying the Titans hosting the AFC title game. That'd be awesome.
I must say I've had this vision of Colts as like the 5.
Yeah.
Beating the 4 on the road and going into Kansas City and winning, and Colts Titans for a trip to LA and Nashville. That scenario is sort of like percolating in my brain.
It would be freaking awesome to have an AFC title game here. Obviously that's never happened before. It would be sweet to have an AFC title game here in Nashville.
Yes, it would be. And by the way, real quick on that front, yes, Julio Jones, Westbrook-Akina, both are still on the COVID list now. But even if those 2 were to stay on it, I mean, as long as AJ Brown, I guess if AJ Brown is hurt, I guess it's possible. It's possible.
Jared from Dixon texting in says, my called shot is Julio Jones will be activated off the COVID list and will have 2 receiving touchdowns. Kevin Byard will have 3 picks and
Whoa.
2 pick sixes, all against the Dolphins.
Jeez.
So 2 pick sixes for Kevin Byard, 3 interceptions total. That's
Whoa.
a shot.
That sounds a little bit more like a fanboy fantasy than a called shot, but you know what? Again, prize pack coming your way if you get that all right.
That's right. When we come back, we'll be joined by our good friend Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans as they take on the Dolphins. That's coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Take us wherever you may go.
There are 2 guys on my untouchable list.
Tune us in anywhere, anytime.
Every team's got those. That's my point.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Time for the Preds Report.
The Nashville Predators went against the Columbus Blue Jackets in the second game of their back-to-back reopening of the season trip. And the Blue Jackets were ahead 2-1 in the second period. The Predators came back with 2 goals in a total of 35 seconds, including this one, to take the lead. Here is Duchesne trying for a redirect in front, and they score! Ryan Johansson, I believe, got it on the backhand, and the Predators tally on the power play to take back the lead. So Ryan Johansson with the goal from Duchesne and Forsberg as it went down on the score sheet. Texier tied the game in the third period. They went through a scoreless overtime, and then the shootout, which the Blue Jackets took 2-1. Up next, Predators tomorrow afternoon against the Chicago Blackhawks.
For exclusive, in-depth coverage of your Nashville Predators, this is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discounted merchandise.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating from Family Leisure. 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. 3-piece sets are only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Family Leisure has air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $7.99. Slate pool tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Shovelboard tables from only $19.99.
Family Leisure is introducing our above ground pool sales now. 24-foot above ground pools start at only $29.99 installed.
That's Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Where family and fun come together.
Music City Man Cave Luxury Men's Grooming is not your everyday nail salon. They specialize in custom hand and foot treatments for men only. As Nashville's first and only all-male hand and foot spa, they curate healthy, solution-oriented manicures and pedicures designed especially for men. From their comfortable environment, aromas, and overall focus on your self-care, everything is designed to make men feel comfortable. Book your appointment today by calling 615-975-2201 or online at musiccitymancave.com. Refining the confidence in men. Luxury grooming. Man cave feeling.
Do great prices and selection on trucks and SUVs still exist? They do in Truckville. Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville has the largest selection in Tennessee. And we keep getting fresh stock on our lots every day. We're committed to offering you our best price and a 5-star experience, which is why we're still known as the destination for trucks and SUVs. Come visit Truckville, Tennessee today in person or online at sarahnashville.com.
Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House invites you to join them for all this year's college football bowl game and playoff action. Bama, Cincy, Georgia, or Michigan, who will win it all? Boomba's has countless big screen TVs and a huge video wall to watch it all go down. Enjoy their 2-time award-winning best pizza in America, featured on the Food Network, and 100% crafted for you. Wash it all down with their award-winning happy hour with $2 Boom Brews and select domestic pints. Locations in Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, and East Nashville. Pizza, beer, sports. See you there, Nashville.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. It's Robby and Rexrode with Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Go back in hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Volunteer State Bank. Real people, real solutions right here. Remember FDIC, equal housing lender. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Friday morning. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game studio talking Titans and taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Scheduled to be joined shortly by Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter. Looking forward to that conversation coming up here in just a few minutes. By the way, Caleb texting back in, who had the called shot about Julio Jones scoring a touchdown and actually 2 touchdowns, and Kevin Byard having 2 pick sixes. He just says, I'm not a fanboy, Joe. I'm just hoping that while Julio has been a shell of himself, that he'll play catch up and try to be himself. And if he does that, then it's completely possible that he makes 2 touchdowns in one game. I mean, this is Julio Jones. We just haven't seen him yet with the Titans.
Did you see my response to that?
I did not.
I responded on the text line. You can read my response if you like, or I'll read it to you.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
I said, I'm not saying you are a fanboy, just saying that combination of plays sounds like a fanboy fantasy. If you are right, I wash your car.
You know, you're eventually going to have to end up washing like multiple people's vehicle when everything's said and done.
I mean, I only say that when it's, when I'm feeling pretty safe, but you're probably right. By the way, JC in Goodlettsville called shot on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Called shot. Vol Twitter outs the official when someone goes to his house. That's actually a pretty good shot. And that
a little scary.
Like if that happens, I'm not saying I'll wash your car because I will not be totally shocked.
I will say I was kind of looking around while I was in the stands last night to make sure that there were no mustard bottles that were about to get flung around. Didn't see any though, so that's good.
Yes, a lot of mustard, jokes as soon as that happened on Twitter, and that'll be a thing that 10 years from now there'll be a call, and it'll screw over the balls, and we'll hear about mustard bottles. That night will live in infamy.
Yes, it will.
By the way, what do you believe the crowd distribution? Since we love to argue over crowd distribution, what do you believe the crowd distribution was yesterday, Tennessee versus Purdue fans?
I would say it was probably 80-20, maybe 85-15 Tennessee fans. There was a lot of Tennessee fans in there.
Yeah. I've got so many Purdue fans in my column about the game that are just screaming at me about various things, including one saying, "Hey, idiot, it was 50-50. I'm like,
it was not close to 50-50.
Like, dude, come on. I mean, even in the Purdue section that was like designated for Purdue, there's orange all through it.
Yeah, I mean, there were some Purdue fans near where I was sitting up towards the top in like section 339, and they were scattered out throughout the place, but it was nowhere close to 50-50. Not close.
Yeah, so nice try, Boilers fans. I mean, Stephanie White's mom, Becky White, Stephanie White won a national championship for Purdue, obviously, former Vanderbilt coach who now is back on Big Ten Network. Do you ever do this, sending a mean tweet to someone, but then you delete it so they can't respond?
No,
it's actually kind of brilliant. She did that twice to me yesterday. So she sent a tweet. One of them was like, "You're just bitter that Purdue beat Michigan State," or something like that, And then another one, like stop being a loser. Cause I was like, especially like early in the game, I was like, Tennessee's going to name its score, but then she deletes the tweet. So I can't respond to it.
That's very strange.
And then she joins up with a Dennis Kelly tweet about the game and says, "Yeah, why don't you be a professional or something?" And I was like, look, Purdue did a great job. Purdue played great. Tennessee could have done a million things better to win. Purdue won. Also, the officiating was a joke. These things can all coexist.
George on Twitter says, "Hey, Robby Stanley, is Bud Dupree eligible to be activated from the COVID list today?" As a matter of fact, he is. So we'll see what happens on that. Now, that doesn't mean that he will be. But I am interested to see from a COVID standpoint how many Titans come off the list before Sunday's game comes around. Is Julio Jones off the list? Is Bud Dupree off the list? They obviously had some good news with Taylor Lewan coming off and Nate Davis coming off yesterday as well. So things have gotten better on that front. And as you pointed out earlier in the show, no new cases yesterday as well. So keeping an eye on both of those things as we head into the weekend before the Titans take on the Dolphins.
The list as it stands in alphabetical order, not in order of player excellence: Danico Autry, Jayon Brown, Bud Dupree, Julio Jones, Kendall Lamb, Buster Screen, Nick Westbrook Akina. Last on the list, first in our hearts, NWI. So a lot of key players there. And it is possible, given the new protocols. Well, I mean, look, it's possible. Anybody who's vaccinated, you test out anytime, right? So, but even with unvaxxed, I believe, given the new protocols, it's possible all of them could play Sunday.
So let's talk Tannehill for a second, because obviously he's received a lot of attention this week. We've talked about the motivation part of this game, taking on the Dolphins. As we knew he would, he downplayed really anything to do with his time with the Dolphins on Wednesday, saying, basically enjoyed his time there, but has moved on, focused on this team and the opportunity in front of the Titans right now. What are your expectations for Tannehill in this game, given what we saw in the second half against San Francisco with A.J. Brown on the field, going on against a defense that is very good in Miami? What are your expectations for number 17 as he takes on his former team?
Well, I think that the one big question about this week and this matchup is handling pressure. And I think so I'm going to put Todd Downing and Ryan Tannehill together on that. It just seems to me like the screen game could really be a nice weapon this week. If you play a team that's known for pressuring a lot, that's an obvious counter. The screen game, whether it's a traditional screen or middle screen to the tight end, receiver screens, I think there's got to be quite a bit of getting the ball out fast in this game, because the Dolphins are comfortable sending extra people, leaving themselves exposed. They have a good defense. So that's one thing. But then I just like the expectation for Tannehill. My expectations for him will vary depending on what we find out about A.J. Brown. If this is just a little minor thing and they were being careful yesterday and he's going to be largely what A.J. Brown is, then I expect Tannehill to build on last week. And I expect the Titans to make the Dolphins pay for some of their pressure. Obviously what you need is when they don't pressure, when they're rushing four, you need your offensive line to hold up. And if that happens, I think we're going to see Xavier Howard a lot on A.J. Brown. That just makes sense. And I think, as a kind of a physical corner, I think that's it's a good matchup for the Dolphins, better than a lot of teams have. But then that's where someone else got to step up. Julio Jones, can he step up at some point and at least look like a number 2 receiver? That would be pretty significant for the Titans.
It would be significant. My expectations of that happening are virtually at 0 at this point, because now, not only has he not done it in the game, but here we are yet again in a situation where, it's COVID, so it's a different situation, but he's not on the field. Like, he's not practicing with Tannehill. And, I understand it's the NFL and people think that, practice isn't that big a deal. Practice can be a pretty big deal at times when you're never on the field practicing together. Like, you heard Todd Downing earlier in the show with the clip we played, talked about the banked reps that Tannehill and A.J. Brown have together. Tannehill and Julio Jones really don't have that many banked reps together at this point.
Yeah, and practice is hugely important in the NFL. You're going against the best athletes in the world who are incredibly fast, and there's a whole bunch of scheming that goes into it, and precise timing is a huge part of why people succeed offensively in this league. So you don't have the contact anymore in practice, and that probably leads to some of the tackling issues we see on Sundays, but practice time is huge. And I think you saw it. Exactly what Todd Downing was talking about. You saw those banked reps come to play in a Thursday night game on a short week with the Titans barely practicing at all. Like, he's got that connection with them. It's unrealistic to think he would have that. I think he and Julio Jones have done a lot of work together and talked a lot. And I don't think it's like their chemistry is the problem. I think it's just more Julio's lack of explosiveness. Yep. But still, you're right. It's just way less than ideal that he's not on the field this week.
ESPN The Game Nashville and Newton Motor Group have teamed up this holiday season with Souls for Souls to help children in Middle Tennessee with Souls for Music City. Souls for Souls works with our schools and community partners to deliver new shoes to kids who need them the most. And Newton Motor Group will be making a donation to Souls for Souls for every test drive at any of Newton Motor Group's 4 locations. You can help us achieve our goal of getting shoes to 100 kids in Nashville experiencing homelessness. For more information and to donate, visit thegamenashville.com/shoes. We'll continue to look ahead at the Titans and the Dolphins. Welcome more of your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Can the Titans take care of business in a key AFC matchup against the Dolphins?
End zone throw open, and Hollins has a Dolphin touchdown.
Or will Miami play spoiler at Nissan Stadium?
Bring it on, Chop. Let's go.
Tune in all day Monday for full reaction to Titans Dolphins.
Talking Titans
on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Indeed believes less is more. That's why they have powerful tools to help you source, screen, and hire quality people faster. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
Hi, guys. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction today and get your love life back just in time for the holidays. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
312 Pizza Company is family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style. Always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesdays and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 to order 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks is ready to help lift Nashville. As the Southeast's most trusted name in crane and equipment rental for over 30 years, Craneworks offers certified operators to make sure the job is done right. Rentalworks has a diverse fleet of equipment to assist in any project, big or small. From forklifts to carry deck cranes, they have it all. When it's time for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project, call Craneworks. Visit craneworks.com.
Get the gifts you really wanted at the Electronic Express huge after Christmas sale. Big savings with up to 50% off in every department. 4K TVs, computers, gaming, speakers and headphones, smart home, housewares, and more. That's not all. Get your kitchen ready for the new year with up to 40% off all your appliance needs. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. Shop the huge after Christmas sale at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Here we are again, Finn, stocking up for the big day at Porvu. That's right, Jolly. 10,000 square feet of wine, spirits, and over 1,500 domestic import and craft beers with a massive array of canned cocktails. Porvu has an amazing selection. Porvu makes it easy to stock the sleigh with everything we'll need for our holiday parties and even last-minute gift ideas. But will it all fit in the sleigh? Not to worry, Finn. I placed our order on the online Porvu app, and I've arranged for curbside pickup at no charge. They even offer home delivery for the rest. What you getting for Trixie? Hard to find small batch, special selections, tequila? Yes, Trixie loves that tequila, just like Blitzen. That's how he got his name, huh? Ooh, party supplies. Everything for our elf soiree, and Porvu always gives us 10% off wine by the case. What are we getting the big guy? Well, after a long night of flying around the world, he likes to kick back with a good stogie. Porvu has a walk-in humidor full of fine cigars. Look, a tasting bar.
Porvu, Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
One of the biggest challenges that come into play when you're going up against a left-handed quarterback like Tua. Obviously, defensive guys are kind of used to maybe playing against one type of quarterback when the guy's throwing from the other hand. Maybe how does that change for the guys up front and then in the back end too?
It is definitely unique. Up front, we always talk about matching the hand, and more times than not, it's the right-hand quarterback, and we're sticking our left hand up to try to mirror the throwing hand. Where now that's totally different, right? Like talking about sticking your right arm up, which we don't do very often, right? There's just certain situations. So, I think that's dramatic. I think just the understanding of who he is, like you go back to talking about some of these other quarterbacks, and it's like keep them away from their throwing arm, right? When they're escaping, like it's always a thing with every quarterback, and that's a little bit different, right? Obviously, he's going the other way than most of these right-handed quarterbacks. So there's some little nuances to it. In terms of the back end, he's an accurate passer. Whether you're right-handed or left-handed, the ball is going to be in the spot, So I don't know how much it truly affects those guys in terms of playing the ball. Back there, I do like when they're blitzing and rushing, it kind of correlates that way just the same as the front.
That was Shane Bowen, Titans defensive coordinator, talking about going up against Tua coming up on Sunday. And obviously, Tua, a left-handed thrower of the football. Joe Rexrode, does that have you shaking in your boots if you're a Titans defender that you're facing a lefty coming out this week?
No, but it is interesting. You have to switch up everything you're doing. So, you're used to doing this. You do this now. How much is that in real time as you're getting blocked? And you have to make that quick decision. Is it easy? I'm sure, it's a little bit of an adjustment. There aren't too many, there just aren't too many good left-handed quarterbacks out there, unfortunately.
We need more.
Kenny the Snake Stabler, man. Jim Zorn.
Steve Young.
No, Steve Young got to be the best, right? Got to be the best ever. Yeah. Although, give credit to Kenny the Snake. Smoke a couple darts on the sideline, go out there, lead a touchdown drive,
Have the Titans ever had a left-handed quarterback? I don't think so.
None come to mind unless someone down the depth chart.
Kevin Byard threw a touchdown pass left-handed, so there's that.
That is a good point. They do have a left-handed touchdown pass in the Mike Vrabel era, which led to still probably the most improbable win of the Mike Vrabel era, his second game. So, but that's why, it'd be great to see Tua be great and turn into what a lot of people, myself included, thought he would be in the NFL, which I have not ruled out, by the way. If he just cut way down on the head-scratching picks, but I guess you could say, it's like, golly, if that guy just didn't strike out 120 times a year, what an incredible hitter he'd be,
You just find a way to put the puck in the net, you'd be a heck of a goal scorer. Isn't
right.
that right?
If he could just, if he could just stop pucks, what a goalie he would be. Well, amazing.
Caleb on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, I have no confidence in the health of the Titans. It's been an issue all year long, and it's not going to magically all of a sudden be fixed. Even when Henry comes back, I'm not 100% confident in his health. He's coming back from a big injury, and there's no telling what percentage of him we're going to get. The Titans will lose and be knocked out in the wild card round. This coming from Caleb on the text line.
See, I like that. I like the pessimism and negativity. We need a little bit more of that, don't we?
By the way, we did just totally, as a texter points out, overlook Michael Vick as a left-handed quarterback. Pretty good.
Yep. He was a good one. Absolutely. And left hand, like a cannon. One of the most exciting players for a few years, I think this league has seen. Still not as good as Steve Young, but yeah, that's a big omission. Thank you. There's some others we're forgetting too, right? And there's somebody we're forgetting somebody.
Caleb, not very confident in the Titans and their health moving forward. I actually think the Titans are starting to get relatively healthy when it comes to, look, the COVID list is kind of its own thing at this point, so it's hard to predict that moving forward, but I think they're starting to get fairly healthy at the right time coming down the stretch. Obviously, we'll wait and see what happens with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, look, it's been bad, but gosh, it sure is way better now than it was a few weeks ago, right? Boomer Esiason, let's not forget the big Boomer.
Oh, yeah. Kyle texting it says Tim Tebow, best lefty of our lifetime. How could we forget?
How about a little Mark Brunell, who beat everybody but the Titans in 1999?
Yeah, man. I guess there are more left-handed quarterbacks than I thought. Still
I
not
got
a lot.
I got a bad one for you. How about Matt Leinart?
Oh, boy.
Guy that a lot of people also thought would be great in the pros. I mean, he was can't miss. What happened to that guy?
Well, just think about the quarterbacks in that draft. You have Leinart. You got Vince Young. Jay Cutler. Like, Jay Cutler ended up being the best one by far. Wasn't even close.
Vanderbilt represent. A lot of Vanderbilt fans are really enjoying this whole Tennessee thing, by the way.
I've seen that.
That's good rivalry when you're not involved at all, but you spend a lot of your day trolling the other team. See, I like it.
Vanderbilt and Kentucky fans have that in common.
Oh, don't even. Vol fans have it too. You guys are the worst.
Why? We never bring up anybody else. It's always with us.
No, you do. Because you guys try to act like you can hang with Bama, but you can't in football. And Florida. But you lost to them too this year.
Michelle,
this is yet another example of Kentucky fans once again talking about Tennessee. It's like a never-ending cycle.
Listen, Michelle, I just want you to know.
What, Joe?
Like, you do not want Vol Twitter to turn on you. So just, I want you to say whatever you want to say. I'm just warning you. If you get Vol Twitter, like a bulk of Vol Twitter turned on you, dude, you're going to want to turn off all your electronics for days.
Scary place.
Listen, I will say this. They are scary. The orangeness, they're scary. You all are really scary.
The
Twitter.
Orangeness.
The orangeness of your fan base. Like,
I mean,
you're
to
all
be
in
fair,
orange and you're just really scary on Twitter and stuff. You're intense.
Between the SEC tournament here, and I've just been at many NCAA tournament sites with Kentucky and covered a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
Involving Kentucky. The fact that you would say any other fan base is scary.
There is that.
I mean,
listen, the year that it was the SEC basketball tournament in Nashville when Admiral Schofield, Grant Williams, that Tennessee team, I was walking around Broadway and I was wearing a Kentucky shirt, obviously. Tennessee just won. We lost, whatever. I just had someone just scream in my face. I was so scared. And yeah, but I guess you get those crazy fans, I mean, anywhere, right?
Well, right. There was a nice young person minding their own business wearing a Tennessee sweatshirt somewhere in the city, and some nutbag BBN fan did the same thing, right? I mean, like we got to all be able to agree that every
We're all
fan
crazy.
base has a certain segment of scary ass people, right?
Oh, yes.
Now, I think
except Titans fans who are non-existent, according to Logan Ryan, who has done an impressive job of backpedaling since then.
Well, actually, ghosts are scary, Robbie.
Yes, that's true.
The ghost of the Titans fan who doesn't exist. But I will say that I think Tennessee and Kentucky both have a nice, juicy percentage of scary.
Yes,
Robbie and I can agree on that.
Credit.
We can agree on that.
John the mailman text again says, "Happy New Year, everyone. Robbie, go Pack, go. Joe, corned beef hash is the GOAT. And Michelle, good luck with these two." Thank you, John.
Hell yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm going to try some black eyed peas.
You better.
Yes.
Like, seriously. Like, have black eyed peas tomorrow. And on many days, because they're awesome. And have corned beef hash all the time. We don't talk enough about that on this show. I mean, we're the only show in town that's honest about corned beef hash and how good it is, but I don't think we talk enough about it.
Could double down on our corned beef hash talk as we move forward into 2022. Maybe our New Year's resolution as a show. Bowl season is the best season. ESPN The Game Nashville is your home for the college football bowl games and the college football playoff, brought to you by 312 Pizza Company in Germantown and Central Barbecue. Today, 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9 will have both college football playoff semifinals, starting with the Goodyear Cotton Bowl with number 1 Alabama taking on Cincinnati at 2 o'clock. Following that game, it's number 2 Michigan taking on Georgia in the Capital One Orange Bowl. 312 Pizza Company is the perfect spot to catch every game during bowl season. For a list of games that we're carrying on 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9, hit up our website at thegamenashville.com/bowl games. When we come back, we will catch up on the Nashville Predators. We'll be joined by our good friend Terry Crisp, Preds TV analyst. We'll get to that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Saturday.
And the shot, the tough angle by Garland. How in the world did he fit that in there?
It's a New Year's Day matchup in Smashville as the Predators return home to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Pre-game at noon, face-off at 1 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Indeed believes less is more. That's why they have powerful tools to help you source, screen, and hire quality people faster. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
Here we are again, Finn, stocking up for the big day at Portvu. That's right, Jolly. 10,000 square feet of wine, spirits, and over 1,500 domestic import and craft beers with a massive array of canned cocktails. Portvu has an amazing selection. Portvu makes it easy to stock the sleigh with everything we'll need for our holiday parties and even last-minute gift ideas. But will it all fit in the sleigh? Not to worry, Finn. I placed our order on the online Portvu app, and I've arranged for curbside pickup at no charge. They even offer home delivery for the rest. What you getting for Trixie? Hard to find small batch, special selections, tequila? Yes, Trixie loves that tequila, just like Blitzen. That's how he got his name, huh? Ooh, party supplies. Everything for our elf soiree, and Portvu always gives us 10% off wine by the case. What are we getting the big guy? Well, after a long night of flying around the world, he likes to kick back with a good stogie. Portvu has a walk-in humidor full of fine cigars. Look, a tasting bar.
Portvu, Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville. It's the half-off after Christmas sale at Social Furniture. Head down to Social Furniture today to receive half off on select items. That's right, half off on select items. They have truckloads of the best selection of furniture and have all your furniture needs. Hurry up and come down to Social Furniture today for the best selection of furniture before it's gone. Visit Social Furniture on the west side at 5412 Charlotte Avenue, on the web at mysocialfurniture.com. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Hose and Belting Specialties in Murfreesboro is your local source for hydraulic, air, water, and chemical hoses, along with conveyor, timing, and metric belt needs. They stock metric fittings for both air and hydraulic applications. Hose and Belting Specialties stocks Parker hydraulic hoses and fittings, Goodyear Conti-Tech industrial hoses, and V-belts, just to name a few of their lines. For any of your industrial needs, call 615-895-HOSE. 615-895-HOSE.
Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey is the official whiskey of the NFL pregame broadcast on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Screwball is the original and most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. Made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter, Screwball is all natural flavor to be enjoyed as a straight shot, in an espresso martini, peanut butter old fashioned, or a PB&J shot with a berry liqueur. Check out screwballwhiskey.com/recipes for more. Be sure and ask for Screwball by name at your favorite watering hole in Nashville.
Enjoy responsibly. 2021 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee ensures children and teens, especially those who need us most, are ready to read, ready for class, ready to graduate, ready for their career, and ready to serve the community. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
Music City Man Cave Luxury Men's Grooming is not your everyday nail salon. They specialize in custom hand and foot treatments for men only. As Nashville's first and only all-male hand and foot spa, they curate healthy, solution-oriented manicures and pedicures designed especially for men. From their comfortable environment, aromas, and overall focus on your self-care, everything is designed to make men feel comfortable. Book your appointment today by calling 615-975-2201 or online at musiccitymancave.com. Refining the confidence in men. Luxury grooming. Man cave feeling.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Presented by FreedomTireGuys.com, Nashville's premier mobile tire company, and Craneworks and Rentalworks, your source for crane and equipment rental. Visit Craneworks.com, Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Volunteer State Bank. Real people, real solutions, right here. Remember, FDIC, equal housing lender. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezevic here with you on this Friday morning. And as we do every Friday at 8:30, we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our good friend, Terry Crisp, Predators TV analyst. Crispy, what's going on? Happy New Year to you and the family.
Thank you, guys, very much, very much. I appreciate that. And listen, a happy birthday to Rex. Just to remind him that it is his birthday. And an old proverb once told me, way back when, Rex, what's the sense of a birthday if you can't have any fun? So, hey, big fella, enjoy your birthday.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Very good stuff. Happy birthday to the great Joe Rexrode. Crispy, obviously good to see the Predators back on the ice, first of all. You know, obviously they want the wins to come along with that as they move forward here. But overall, what have you thought of the way that they've played the game in their 2 games since coming back from the break?
You know what? Overall, I was happy. Everybody, like every other team's can bang off the layoff. We have rust on us, and we got some points we have to clear up and whatnot. But starting with our goaltending, we got solid goaltending by both goalies, Saros and Riddick. So that I was happy to see. They were right back on beam. The first game, the effort I liked. Sometimes I used to use that one, the harder we work, the behinder we get. And that was sort of like our team in a couple of these games that late in the game, when we had things coming back, getting them into it. I just think in the third period, we got to become the team that gets tougher, faster, stronger. And last night's game was a pretty good evidence of that we didn't kick it into gear when we came back and had a lead. We came back, tied it, went with it, but overall, yeah. And like I said, the guys have got to get back into gear and get to know each other again.
If you were in this situation, Crispy, because we talked about going into yesterday, and actually Todd Richards said, you know, they talked about it, they weren't sure, but if you were in a situation where you had this long break, you had a back-to-back, would you have considered going with Saros both games?
You know what? I probably would have considered, because I'm an old-style coach that when the horse is hot, you ride him, and he played well, hard. But Riddick has played also, and we certainly can't put that loss on Riddick. I mean, in the third period, he saved our guys' bacon. I mean, we were so lax in the third period, and we've seen that before. I mean, our turnovers were ridiculous. Unforced turnovers in our end. I could probably go back over the video and take four times where we had the puck, nobody bothered us, we threw it right into the slot, right on their stick, perfect pass. Riddick saved them all 4 times on it. So in that result, no, I think the coaches made a good decision in playing Riddick, not a problem. I just think the guys out in front of him have to get a little smarter. And the one that I'm going to show and repeat is that one goal, the Laine's goal. That was, to me, the epitome of not being aware of what's going on, not knowing what the heck you're doing out there. 5 guys surrounded Laine. 5 guys. And he somehow got the puck. Nobody looked over their heads. Nobody had their head in a swivel. Laine passed it across, went on through 5 guys. They threw it back. You're going to blame Riddick for that goal? I don't think so. So in my estimation, in my notes that I took last night in front of the TV is the fact that too many Lone Rangers, too many unforced giveaways, right point blank on their stick. The other one I had was late in the game. They had one that our guys had it in our zone. So that's the area we better clean up. We better get a little tougher, a little smarter with the puck in our zone.
Yep, I don't think there's any question about that, Crispy. And obviously not having Roman Josi the last couple of games does not help in that regard. I'm just curious, for your perspective, how much does the game change both defensively, but even offensively as well, when you don't have Roman Josi in there carrying the puck? Like how much does that change the way the Predators have to attack things in your mind?
Yeah, you know what? It changes huge only from the fact that when you have Josi there, you know you've got that weapon. He's there. He's back to defend. He leads the rush. He comes down off the point. When he's got the puck, things happen. But that doesn't give the rest of the defense corps a day off or a license not to play their game or to play up to their abilities. So, okay, we can moan. Every team has guns out. Every team has COVID guys and whatnot. So, okay. But to my estimation, when Yoshi's out, you think guys would work harder and know they have to fill in that one spot or get their game. And That's what I want to see from the present-day defense without our captain, that they step up to the breach and start to get their heads on a swivel and quit having a happy stick and waving at the guy coming down at them and take the body instead of fishing for the puck.
Sticking on with that group, Crispy, we've talked a fair amount, here and there, and certainly last year into the offseason, early this season, about Dante Fabro. What do you think about him at this point of this very critical season for him?
You know what? I think Dante is one of those young players that he goes sort of in and out of streaks, that he seems to really connect and play like 3 or 4 solid games, and he sort of slides away from it. And I think the coaches understand that being youngsters, and that's the hardest. No, there's only two positions that are tough when you come in as a youngster. If you come in as a young goalie, that's tough. And the second one is a young defenseman. And I still consider Fabro young in terms of experience and whatnot. But I also like that when he's playing his game, he's confident. But I think, and I've said this before, I love watching him play, but he's got to learn this. As Tobin has to learn it, and all the other youngsters come in, that you're in a different league. This whole league steps up 10%, 20%, 50% faster than what you ever played. And when you have the puck or you're making plays, you only have a split second. If you're lucky, you might have a second and a half to make up your mind whether you're going to skate, pass, or shoot it. And I think right now Fabro goes into those situations when he has the puck or going back to get it or going to make a play with it. He waits that extra second or extra 2 seconds, and then he's into a bit of a jam on that one. So once he realizes that he has to make his plays a little quicker, a little faster, he'll be fine.
Terry Crisp on the line with us, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Crispy joins us every Friday morning at 8:30. Crispy, do you think the Predators should send maybe an email or a memo out to the rest of the league and just say, hey, you probably need to stop trying to fight Tanner Jeannot? Should that be something that people should just steer clear from at this point?
Yeah, I used to say when you go after certain guys, what do you want to commit suicide? What are you thinking about out there? But the nice part is that Jeannot doesn't, he's one of those guys that doesn't go looking for it, but he's there to step in, and Borowiecki and Olivier, Trent, and you even watch Benning. Benning thinks he's 6'8" and 220 pounds and fights like Hal Gill. Well, maybe not like Hal Gill. We'll give Giller a pass on that one. But he's Hal won't be listening anyway, so I'm safe till he gets a hold of me. But Benning, he plays hard like that. So, I just love it, and I always watch when he's out there. Other teams, when there's a melee or when there's a scrum, and he suddenly slides into it, like there's certain guys in other teams that when they slide into it, everything seems to calm down. Nobody seems to want to drop the gloves now. Okay, this is enough. We'll all just go back to our benches. And Jeannot is one of those guys. Borowiecki is now becoming one when he slides into those scrums, and they're all looking at him. Not too many guys want to keep the scrum going.
How would Tanner Jeannot fare against the Broad Street Bullies?
He would play well with us. You're going to put him against us, weren't you? You thought we were going to play against him, didn't you? No. He's playing for us. Nice trick, guy. Nice try.
Oh, I love it. Crispy, great stuff as always, my friend. We appreciate so much you taking time to join us, not only today, but throughout the season so far as well. Looking forward to more of it coming up in 2022.
Thanks, guys. And I'm going to take just a quick opportunity to thank you guys and all of our fans and all the people out there. Please, everybody have a happy New Year. Have a safe one, please. It's a new year, but don't do anything foolish out there. And in the new year of 2022, let's all be safe, sound, and healthy, and look after ourselves and our families, guys. God bless you all.
That's right.
Well
Absolutely.
said.
You as well, Terry Crisp, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. Crispy, the best in the business, joins us every Friday morning at 8:30. I will say, people probably need to stop trying to fight Tanner Jeannot. It's not ending very well for those that try it. It was that almost got dangerous last night with that right cross that he threw at the end of that. It was he's quite the fighter, that Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah, I mean, between him and Borowiecki, man, all of a sudden this is a team you don't want to tangle with, which again is still every once in a while you're like, wait, how did this happen so fast? But that's the thing. You have a guy or two who can do that stuff, and it's like you can sort of change just the entire feeling around your team when people want to take a run at some of your stars.
Preds back in action coming up tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena at 1 o'clock is the puck drop time tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena. So a little matinee hockey taking on the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow. When we come back, we'll take more of your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. The Titans, the Preds, college football playoff, everything is on the table. We'll get to that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Partly cloudy skies for us this afternoon. Highs in the middle and upper 60s, and then 70s for Friday and Saturday. Strong to severe storms also possible Friday and Saturday.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, what's up? It's Chase McKay. BetMGM welcomes you with a special offer on New Year's Day. This is what you need to do. Place a $10 moneyline wager on any sport to win $200 in free bets. All you have to do is use the code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. You enjoy the holiday like never before and score a big win on your very first bet at the King of Sportsbooks. Just download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that bonus code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets when you bet on any sport on New Year's Day. Start the new year off right and discover why nothing beats a win at BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Did you not get everything on your Christmas list? Well, shop at Social Furniture for their half-off after Christmas sale. Head down to Social Furniture on the west side today for half off on selective items. First come, first served on the best selection of furniture. Social Furniture has truckloads after truckloads of all your furniture needs. Their showroom is packed, wall-to-wall with great merchandise. If you're looking for that new living room set you didn't get, it's here. Thousands of combinations to choose from. A new dining room, a new bedroom. No matter what, you will find it here at Social Furniture. Come down to Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue to see what you can save today. The best part is there's no waiting. Take home your new furniture today, or with Social Furniture's same-day delivery. They have 12 months same as cash. Hurry up and come down to Social Furniture today for their half-off after Christmas sale before it's gone. That's right, half-off select items. Visit Social Furniture on the west side at 5412 Charlotte Avenue or on the web at mysocialfurniture.com.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
BetOnline.net still has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march through the College Bowl season and the Pro Football Playoffs. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports info, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline.net has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live, real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? With nights getting longer, it might be time to refresh your headlights. You'll see better and drive safer. Why not try Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs? They have the furthest down road light, and right now you can get a $10 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy two. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or free next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Rexrode got run over by a reindeer.
Wow.
Rexrode got run over by a
reindeer. Walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah. So little Rexrode got run over by a reindeer, bringing us back in here today on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. As I'm speaking, Michelle Knezovic giggling around in the control room, unable to speak.
You're
Everything
right.
happening right now.
It just has such a nice little ring to it.
I don't know.
Michelle's favorite creation of all time.
I don't know why, like, doing that twice in a row makes it so much funnier, but it just does. Just Robby going, wow. Again, you know, like it's well done. That's a crack producer right there, you know.
Thank you,
Gets a
guys.
feel for doubling up something and making it even funnier.
I appreciate
Just
it.
really highlighting my contributions that I bring to the show on a daily basis of the wow. How about that?
Join Robby and Rexrode. Oh, yeah. Really? You think so? How about that?
Man. How about that right there?
I agree.
Yes. It is Free Beer Friday, served up by Joyland in East Nashville. Text in the keyword joy to the game line right now at 615-737-1025 and be qualified to win a Joy Beer and Joyland's new Smash Burger Deluxe. Once again, that's joy to 615-737-1025. We are taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Logan texting in says Ben Harper should have gotten an assist on the Columbus's goal in the third period. I wanted to smash my TV again. He should just slap it down the ice every single time he touches it. Was a quite the turnover by Ben Harper last night that led to the third goal for Columbus.
I sent, Crispy got a little fired up last segment.
He was.
You ask a coach about like a goalie decision, and a lot of the things that happen aren't really on the goalie. You get a little bit of fire going there. Yeah, you just. That's the thing. It's like there's rust and there's back-to-back and all these things, but just mental errors, those are so discouraging. And in this game, one really badly placed one of those can really be costly, as we've seen.
Let's go back to the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Our buddy Will from Nashville texting in says, I hadn't seen that Purdue team until the Tennessee game yesterday. They're pretty impressive, especially offensively. I'm surprised they lost 4 games in the Big Ten. Are y'all? And without several of their best players to add.
Well, that's fair. I mean, no, they're legit. Jeff Brom's a good coach. They have a good offense. Aiden O'Connell's a former walk-on who, is just is a revelation. And yeah, look, they took it to Michigan State when Michigan State was ranked, number 2 or whatever. They beat, Iowa. They went to Iowa and thumped them on the road. And I don't even honestly remember all of their losses at this point. But I think, defensively, you can see where, although Tennessee's offense is good enough to make a lot of defenses look bad, that's where Purdue was subpar. But yeah, offensively, think about that offense yesterday and then put their best 2 receivers in that offense and think about what it is. And the thing is, they didn't run the ball all year. I think one of the big keys yesterday is they got some running game going that kind of helped them in the middle of the game possess the ball a little bit and kind of flip the game around.
I'm seeing on Twitter, Ryan Porth very fired up about the Cincinnati Bearcats taking on Alabama tonight. College football playoff coming up later today. Alabama taking on Cincinnati. Georgia taking on Michigan later tonight. We talked a little bit earlier. For Cincinnati to hang around in this game, what has to go right for them? What's the key to the game for Cincinnati to make this an actual game in the fourth quarter against Alabama? An Alabama team who the last time we saw looked like they were pretty unstoppable on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, to me, the only way that this is a good game and is a fourth quarter game with Cincinnati having a chance to steal it is just the absolute peak performance by Cincinnati's offense. I believe Cincinnati's offense is good enough to move the ball on Alabama, good enough to score touchdowns on Alabama. You have to score the touchdowns. You have to finish in the red zone. I think Cincinnati's going to get to the red zone. I think Cincinnati's going to move the ball between the 20s. If you watch Alabama's defense all year, they got some great players. Will Anderson is a great player. There are weak spots. There are vulnerabilities in the secondary. It isn't the interior dominant defense that we've seen, even in some of Bama's recent defenses that haven't been that good. They've usually had at least a guy or two in there who really is a problem. Again, they have great players in every position, but it's a defense Cincinnati can move the ball on. I don't have a lot of confidence in Cincinnati's defense in this game. But Mechie being out is a huge loss for Alabama in this game and potentially in the national title game.
Huge loss for Alabama, no question about it. And then we'll see Georgia and Michigan coming up tonight. First off, I think a lot of people expecting a low-scoring game in this one with the two defenses that are going to be trotted out there. I think Georgia, look, I think a lot's been made the last couple of weeks of, well, maybe this Georgia team's not as good as we thought they were all season long. I don't necessarily buy into that. I think they're still a pretty darn good football team, and I expect a statement to some degree tonight between Georgia and Michigan. I think Georgia's going to play really well. I think they're going to hammer Michigan in this game.
There's a lot of, and we talked about it at the time, kind of revisionist history on Georgia after what Alabama did to them in Atlanta about really who did they beat, who did they play. Look,
they did beat the Cheez-It Bowl champion Clemson, by the way. So there is that.
Well, listen, Tennessee went into Alabama and that offense was doing just fine and that for a lot of that game. And that was a one-score game late in the third quarter. Tennessee's offense, did what it wanted to do most weeks, including against Pitt in the shootout. Georgia came into Knoxville and just locked it down after the first two drives, which to me is one of the most impressive things they've done. They went into Auburn when Auburn was playing well, beat them 34-10 on the road. That's a legit team that I have already called the shot is going to win the national championship. So I think today the Georgia performance probably is going to shut people up who want to say they didn't do anything this year. That don't be fooled. It's true that their schedule, like they didn't end up, with wins over a lot of highly ranked teams. They still played a good schedule and they dominated some good teams on that schedule. But we'll see.
So if they lose this game, what do you think the talking point on Kirby Smart looks like in Athens? Because look, he's not in danger like losing his job or anything, but there are some Georgia fans already who have thought to themselves, gosh, he can never win the big game. He can never get past Saban. He can never do all this stuff. What do you think the talking point is on Kirby Smart today if they lose to Michigan?
Oh, it won't be good. It won't be good at all. And I think if they lose this game, look, if they win this game, they go lose to Alabama, it's still going to be very heavily. But it's like, well, that's the Death Star, man.
Can't beat the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, there's still, I think, a little bit of well, look, I think what the talking point will be if they win today and then they lose a good game to Alabama is you can't win a national championship in this sport with a Stetson Bennett as your quarterback. You have to. You have to have, I don't know, a Justin Fields as your quarterback. You need to make good quarterback decisions too, because as time goes on, the more and more I think about it, boy, if he would have lived with mistakes from Justin Fields rather than go with safe Jake Fromm back in the day, would he already have a natty right now? He might.
Maybe.
So I think I think they're going to win it with Stetson Bennett, for the record. I do. I think they've got enough around him, but that's going to be the criticism. And I think that's fair if that's how it turns out. But if they lose today, oh, yeah, people are going to be down on Kirby big time.
Well, I mean, the last two games that you would have seen at that point would be just getting throttled by Alabama, and then whatever happens in the Michigan game, if they were to lose that game today, be an interesting time to be Kirby Smart again. Like his job's not going to be in jeopardy or anything like that, but that fan base gets loud when you don't start winning some of these big games, and they're already kind of there with Kirby Smart anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him. And by the way, if it turns out that way, do we go all the way back full circle to Jim Harbaugh's a genius? We may be Maybe doing so. That, right? For the record, on the texter who asked about Purdue, they lost 27-13 at Notre Dame. They lost at home to Minnesota and got rocked at home by Wisconsin, and they lost 59-31 at Ohio State, which, they scored plenty of points. But you can imagine if you saw Purdue's defense yesterday, what Ohio State would have done to them and did do to them.
Yes. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. You can check out this great deal. Get a Downtown Dollars $150 digital gift card For only $100, the gift card is redeemable at hundreds of downtown Nashville shops, restaurants, and more. And with Downtown Dollars, you get more to spend at an old favorite or discover one of the many new destinations in downtown's growing neighborhoods. Also, it's the end of the year blowout. Save 75% off at Bad Axe Throwing Nashville, Nashville Armory, and the Beanbag Coffee and Tea Shop. You can check out other great deals like the deals from the Woodhouse Spa, Brooklyn Bowl, Seafood Sensation, and more. All of those are at thegamenashville.com/deals. When we come back, we'll be joined by our good friend David Ubben from The Athletic. We'll get his thoughts on the Music City Bowl yesterday and look ahead to the college football playoff as well. That's coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The voice of reason.
If I'm the official, I would send both teams to the locker room and say, this is going to stop.
The voice of the fan.
Our entire team's a mash unit right now.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Blood Assurance is the only nonprofit blood centers in Middle Tennessee where 100% of your blood donations go to help save lives for people right here in our community. Blood Assurance is proud to announce the opening of its newest location at the Oakwood Commons Shopping Center at 4686 Lebanon Pike in Hermitage. Find it in your heart to donate today. Go to bloodassurance.org/schedule for information.
Are you interested in starting your own business? Join the Blink Law Entrepreneur Summit on February 2nd for their one-day event to help anyone start a business. Not only will you hear from experienced entrepreneurs from a variety of fields, but all attendees will also get a one-on-one consultation with an attorney who will register your business. You will leave the event with certified documents and an officially registered business. This is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to jumpstart a new business. For more information and to register, go to facebook.com/BlinkLawLLC.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? With nights getting longer, it might be time to refresh your headlights. You'll see better and drive safer. Why not try Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs?